Decision from District Court Judge Sarah Garrity stops the state from enforcing a ban on doctors prescribing hormone therapy to minors until further court order or trial.
Fox's CJ Papa. Georgia is one of at least 20 states with limits or bans on transgender care, with most being challenged in court. Just getting word that the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of San Francisco has filed for bankruptcy, aiming to use the Chapter 11 filing to facilitate a settlement for about 500 lawsuits accusing the church in San Francisco of enabling child sex abuse. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A hot week in the Hoosier State. 93 degrees downtown with a heat advisory that's in effect until Thursday night. Nothing under radar. You've got a low of 72 later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. It's not just the heat that concerns Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service.
What stands out to me is how prolonged the heat really is. It's going to be all week long from now through Friday. The humidity will be very excessive.
But he says temperatures will ease up this weekend and the humidity will drop. Until then, he recommends you stay inside in the air conditioning as long as you can. IMPD says they need help in finding two toddlers believed to be abducted by their father. Rodney Pence is the dad of Cortez and Sincere Pence. They were last seen Sunday along Leslie Avenue. Pence drives a red 2004 Cadillac Escalade, say police, and he's 6'2", 225 pounds of black hair and brown eyes. Give IMPD a call if you have any info. The Indiana Supreme Court cleared the way for Indiana's near-total ban on abortion to take effect. They announced today that it denied a rehearing on its June 30th decision regarding the state's new abortion restrictions. That means a state appeals court can now certify the decision to allow the new law to take effect almost immediately. It bans nearly all abortions with just a few exceptions. Indiana Task Force 1 has been helping in Hawaii since last Friday.
Yesterday and today, we're working on creating safe access to the building so that we can conduct searches through the building.
Task Force 1 leader Jay Settergren on Wish TV. Over 100 people have died from the wildfires in Maui. Why would the Colts sign a running back Jonathan Taylor to a new contract when he's already in an agreement with one?
And that's what we asked Colts fans during halftime of its preseason game on Saturday at Lucas Oil Stadium. I'm Ryan Hedrick, and the answers were different up and down the concourse.
He's a good running back. He deserves it.
You think the Colts should sign Taylor?
Nope, he's being too ridiculous in the whole thing.
From my aspect, he's already in a contract.
Taylor is expected back with the team this week. He is still on the physically unable to perform list. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Indy, stop spoiling your summers, painting year after year. Do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad. With Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
Rhino Shield's ceramic coating is specifically formulated for our climate.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
Indy, this just in. Take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. What's going on, Matt Baer?
Well, Harrison, I'm looking at northbound 37, and it's a little bit slow from Epler to 465. Outside of that, the interstates are looking pretty good right now. A little bit of a slow coming into downtown. Inbound 65, time from West Street to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute. At the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing. Visit GetLVILASIK.com for details. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sunny and hot for the day today. High temps near 92, but feels like temperatures into the triple digits. Tonight, clear and muggy at lows near 73. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Looks like Trump says he's bailing out of all the debates, not just this upcoming one on Fox Wednesday, Hammer. I got to tell you, first of all, I've never really enjoyed the debate, the platform of the debate, like the format. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, okay, Mike Pence gets 60 seconds, and then you get 15 seconds to rebut his. It's just, I don't know. I've never liked it. I think the idea of Trump sitting down with Tucker and getting down to exactly what he's going to do in the next 4 years of his presidency. Tucker did that with everybody. He did it with Ramaswamy last week. I think that's a much more effective tool in getting your message out to people. Sorry, I do. I don't like the current format, especially when the stage is packed full of no-names.
That's the thing. I don't mind the format, but I have to sit through some dude named Doug. I've got to sit through Asia Hutchinson. I've got to sit through Mike Pence. Nobody wants to hear from these
Chris
people.
Christie.
Look at their polling. If you're not near 10%, which I don't think is asking all that much, you shouldn't be on the stage. I think Rob talked about this morning. The only people I think that should be on this stage that are close to polling to 10%, DeSantis, Ramaswamy, Tim Scott, and Nikki Haley. Yeah. And that's it. Now, Tim Scott and Nikki Haley, they're not near 10%. But those are the only names. Nobody cares about these also-rans. Nobody cares about these place fillers. That's the problem.
Would it be a better debate? Would it be more entertaining if Trump was there? Yes, of course, certainly. We all saw the debates the first time around. It was something novel. It was something new. It was him punching back hard at these at his adversaries. Now we know who Trump is at this point, right? I mean, like everybody,
right?
And he's just, his polls are skyrocketing through the roof with each indictment, with each passing day. The numbers, there's no point in the debates. I mean, it's same for Biden. I mean, as much as I hate to admit it, I mean, he'd never debate RFK Jr. anyway.
The only reason I'd want to see Biden debate is to see if he still had his mental faculties.
Well, we all know the answer to that.
Right,
already.
which is why I kind of want to see him up there. Let everybody see the fact that this dude lost his fastball a long time ago. But you're right. All we're going to get out of this debate on Wednesday, and we're going to watch it. We're going to have a bingo card. We're going to do all the things. We're going to live tweet it. But Chris Christie's going to use this as an anti-Trump rally. The DeSantis camp, they're going to go after Ramaswamy. Ramaswamy's going to go after DeSantis. And a big topic of the conversation, I think, is going to be about Donald Trump, who's not even there. So it's going to be interesting. Now, you mentioned Donald Trump is going to do an interview with Tucker. I still think he should do that Manning cast idea that we had with Tucker, where Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson watch the debate and comment on it like the Manning cast on Monday Night Football.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 back in the day on Comedy Central.
That would be amazing. I would watch that in a heartbeat. Donald Trump did go to social media, Truth Social, his platform of choice, and talked about the debate. Big Nige, if you wouldn't mind, could you get this Monday rolling with your awesome Donald Trump reading of this message?
A new CBS poll just out has me leading the field by legendary numbers. Trump, 62%, 46 points above DeSanctimonious, who's crashing like an ailing bird.
Oh.
Ramaswamy, 7%, Pence, 5%, Scott, 3%, Haley, 2%. Slappy Chris Christie, 2%. The public knows who I am and what a successful presidency I've had with energy independence, strong borders, and military, biggest ever tax regulation cuts, no inflation. I will therefore not be doing the debates.
Whew, that's a good one. Well done, sir.
Got an ab workout doing that. I can't do subdued Trump. I don't know how to do subdued Trump. I can only do the animated, DeSanctimonious.
He's fired. That Donald Trump. I got it.
Whew.
But
all right.
That being said, okay, would anybody be shocked? Would anybody be floored if the day of the debate, if literally hours before the debate, we find out there's an empty podium sitting on the stage, and right as that thing goes live on Fox, you hear the music. And Donald Trump walks out there like Stone Cold Steve Austin. People are throwing Diet Cokes at him. He's catching them. He's drinking them. He shoulder bumps DeSantis on his way to the podium. You can't rule it out because he's a showman.
I can't. Mike Pence said today, I believe, he still thinks there's a chance he could be there, but I doubt it.
Ron DeSantis will be there. Some feel like this is his last stand. If he does not have a dominant showing in this debate, just pack it up, pack it in. Here he is talking about the debate.
In terms of the debate, look, I know from the military, when you're over the target, that's when you're taking flak. And if you look really in the last 6 to 9 months, I've been more attacked than anybody else. Biden, Harris, the media, the left, other Republican candidates. And there's a reason for that because people know that I'm the biggest threat. So we view it as positive feedback. We'll be ready to do what we need to do to deliver our message. But we absolutely expect that and we'll be ready for it.
I always studied the words carefully because I know every single word said by these people is crafted in a way that means something. He wanted to remind everybody he was in the military. He would be a good commander-in-chief. He's going to be there, and he's a threat.
And he's right. Everybody's been taking shots at him. Everybody. Republicans and obviously everybody on the left. They're scared of him. Trump's scared of him. I mean, polling aside, has Trump gone after anybody else really in this field?
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Sloppy Chris Christie. That's it. But
that's because he hates him.
Well, yeah. That's not because he thinks he's a threat. I love Ron DeSantis. I like what he did in Florida. I was, the first chance I was able to buy a ticket down to Florida in 2020. We were there, and because it was open and it was great, and I love the job he did. But it's those poll numbers, man. Those are tough to overcome.
It's a blowout right now. It's an absolute blowout. So tell me what you think about this report from ABC News. ABC News reporting that Vivek Ramaswamy told allies that he's only running for president to sabotage Ron DeSantis,
which helps Trump.
Right. This is a little excerpt of the ABC News report. Quote, in the lead up to his announcement, Ramaswamy would tell several other conservative activists that he believed that if he ran, it could stop DeSantis from running or impact his viability as a candidate if he did enter the race.
And also, I could get a spot in Trump's cabinet.
Bingo.
If he gets elected.
And man, his popularity is going up. The Trump interviews, the rapping to Eminem, and the way that he lays things out. It's a younger guy, and he brings a little energy.
We saw the strategy leaked out from Ron DeSantis' campaign. I don't know how it got leaked out, but one of the pieces of that strategy was A, to have Trump's back, B, hammer Ramaswamy.
Now, DeSantis has said that, well, I don't know where that came from. That's not a memo that I wrote. These are not the droids you're looking for. Sure. I think he absolutely is going to go after Ramaswamy because at this point, it's a race for number 2, right?
Yeah.
And if you're in that second spot, what if Donald Trump gets locked up? Now, he could still be the president. He could still be elected.
God, that's the other wrench in this whole thing, man. Yeah, he's indicted 4 different times. I think in Fulton County, they want to start the trial a day before Super Tuesday.
Right.
So what's that look like for Donald Trump? He's not going to be able to participate in any debates because he's going to be sitting there in the courtroom.
Somebody has sent us a tweet at Hammer and Nigel. Is WIBC going to carry the debate? Yes, we are. You can hear the debate here on this radio station, and we're all going to be live tweeting various things. Nigel's going to be following Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump. I'll be watching the debate. Kendall, Casey, Tony, they're all going to be doing the same thing. So make sure you follow all of us here at 93 WIBC. And here's a little preview, okay? We have pulled some strings. We got a little preview of what this debate's going to sound like Wednesday. Here's Brett Baer and Chris Christie.
I ask every presidential candidate this first question, and that is, what do you think the most important issue facing our country is?
Shut up.
It's a little preview of what to expect on Wednesday from
Great
Chris
answer.
Christie. Matt Bear standing by with a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer inbound. 65 slows West Street to Meridian Pennant on the northeast side. We have slowed on southbound 465 from I-69 down to 75th Street. And northbound 65-70 is starting to get a little bit tight here from Fletcher Avenue up to Washington. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile on the most reliable 5G network. Most reliable based on route metrics. U.S. report results vary. Not an endorsement. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
It's freaking hot. It's freaking hot. 93 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Man, we got a great show for you today. Martha McCallum, who is one of the moderators of the Debate Wednesday, is going to call in a little bit later on. We got Monday Gun Day coming up. We've also got the folks from Devour Downtown. Michael is here, and we'll talk about some awesome dining options here in Indy. All of that's coming up. Do not go anywhere. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You're an experienced firearms owner or are just thinking about getting a new firearm? Atkinson Firearms in Greenwood has everything you need. With brands like Glock, Smith & Wesson, Canic, Colt, Henry, SIG, and much more. If Atkinson Firearms doesn't have it, they can get it. Plus accessories, from holsters to ammo and everything between. Atkinson Firearms is firefighter owned and veteran staff with a new larger location. Follow Atkinson Firearms on Facebook. Atkinson Firearms, off County Line Road next to the Greenwood Airport.
Hey Hoosiers, it's your Congressman Greg Pence. Let's get straight to the point. Joe Biden's policies are not working for the average Hoosier. Inflation is absolutely still out of control. I'm putting Hoosier values first. Promoting energy independence, opposing woke policies, and fighting for our families is my focus. To learn more about my efforts, go to pence.house.gov.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Only real estate agent I'd trust to sell my home, that would be Mark Dietl. Maybe you're a growing family or working from home means you need more space. Just like Kevin and Lori, their family was growing. Their house was too small. They found a bigger home but needed to sell their current home for top dollar to afford the bigger place. Mark Dietl's team made it happen. The old home sold in 7 days, and they made sure they closed on both houses in the same day.
You get to pick the move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel anytime. And if that wasn't enough, how about the guarantee? Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is what makes Mark Dietl the official choice of the Hammer and Nigel Show. Call him today, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Say goodbye to flooded basements with the help of Justin Dorsey Plumbing. Our knowledgeable, friendly technicians can install a brand new sub pump to keep your home dry and protected year-round. Call us at 463-255-7619 and enjoy a limited-time offer of $55 off your new pump. That's 463-255-7619.
Don't cry about your plumbing problems. Call today, fix today is the Justin Dorsey Plumbing way.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on, with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I'm Nigel. Hammer's here. We have a very special guest joining us live in studio. Hammer.
Devour Downtown. Man, one of my favorite things the city of Indianapolis puts together. Chef Michael is here. Now, that's what you wanted me to call you, right? I could give you this proper introduction, director of culinary, but you're Chef Michael.
Chef Michael.
All right. So first of all, for somebody listening who might not know what Devour Downtown is, maybe they've heard it, but they're not quite sure what it is. Take us through the whole process here.
Okay. Well, Devour is just a great opportunity that we do in the city and around the city. All of our brands and a lot of other restaurants are involved.
Now, what is your brand?
Okay, we have St. Elmo's, Harry and Izzy's, 1933 Lounge, and HC Tavern and Kitchen.
Major stuff there. That's good stuff.
Big names.
Big names.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's just an opportunity to eat at our restaurants at a discounted price. Summer Devour. If you haven't been to one of our restaurants, it's a great opportunity to come in and get introduced to them. And if you have, come on in and take advantage of the discounted pricing.
Was there a ticket that you have to buy, or is this just something your restaurants and other restaurants like yours are kind of collectively doing? You don't have to buy any sort of barcode or scan a QR code or something like that, right?
No QR codes. Come on in.
Now, what type of discounts are we talking about here? Because sometimes I've heard a lot of people say, man, I love to go to downtown. I love all these restaurants that I've heard about all my life. I just don't know if I could afford it right now.
Well, that's what this is for.
Right. What kind of discounts are we talking about?
You're going to spend less than you would spend if you came in for dinner. It's a considerable discount. And this Summer Devour, we are featuring a new discount. If you come in for dinner Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, we're going to give you an additional $10 off of the discounted Devour price.
A discount of the discount. Now you're talking my language right there. Yeah. I like to hear that.
Where are you? So you're Chef Michael. Where do you work specifically?
Well, I work in all of the restaurants. We do have our offices at the PNC Tower.
So you're the director of culinary, so that means you're kind of like a boss man?
You can just call me Michael, and I help with designing the menus, writing recipes,
gotcha.
Opening the restaurants and
right on.
Yeah. So
is it like bar rescue? If you walk into a restaurant and you see something's not right, you yell at somebody and flip a table over? Is that how it works?
Well, I'm no Gordon Ramsay, I promise you that. But I do go into the restaurants, have great rapport with all of my chefs, and we just work together to keep the places awesome and the food awesome.
But you could do, you know what my favorite show is right now is The Bear. You ever watch that show, The Bear on Hulu?
Yeah, I watched the first season and part of the second season. It just gave me too much anxiety.
Really? It's such a great show, though. It is. I don't know if is it really?
It is. Not real life like you would experience.
What's it about? I don't know what it is.
The Bear is about a guy whose brother ran an Italian beef house, little hole-in-the-wall restaurant in Chicago while he went on to work at the French Laundry, I think. But his brother died, so he leaves his hoity-toity job as a fancy, 5-star chef to come back to run his brother's hole-in-the-wall, basically. Right?
Yeah, but they're turning the hole-in-the-wall into what they want to be I don't know if you call it hoity-toity, but a nice restaurant.
Yeah, nicer restaurant.
The first season he was running the hole in the wall.
Yes. And now they turn it around.
But now they're trying to turn it around. But
the type of place Gavin Newsom would go after telling you you're not allowed to go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're telling me.
That's it. That's right. So it could get hectic back there sometimes in some of your kitchens. But if you still perform, you never see that side like when you're sitting there at the table. You got to hide that part.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of drama in our kitchens. But there is drama in a lot of kitchens. The sous chef on the Bear. She gives you a good example of some of the, all the stuff she has to put up with and what she's going through. She just wants everything right and perfect, and it's certainly not in that environment.
Chatting with Chef Michael, we're talking about Devour Downtown, a series of restaurants that sometimes compete with each other, now coming together to pass the savings on to you. Now, how did all of this come to be? Because, again, I know like St. Elmo's and Harry and Izzy's, they're like partnered, they're buddies. It's the sister restaurants to each other. But there's a lot of places involved in this that some would consider a rival. How did everybody come together?
Well, I think in time, the Restaurant Association just decided that they wanted to give people an opportunity to really experience the Indianapolis culinary scene. And what better opportunity would there be than to discount pricing? And a couple of times a year, so we do, and we have great traffic flow from it.
And your colleague here, Andrea's in the back. She's been setting up this amazing spread.
It smells so good.
It smells so good. She has not stopped working since you came in the studio, lining everything up. What do we got back here?
What's back there?
Well, we brought some samplings of some of the items that are on our Devour menus. We've got some lunch items.
What is this?
Some of the dinner items. This is the cheese fritters from HC.
Cheese fritters.
And Fisher's.
Oh, man.
Pimento cheese fritters. We've also got some Wagyu corn dogs, Tavern Club. These
some
are
sliders
these are
back
all
there, I
items that
think,
you can
right?
get on Devour.
Wow. And if the food wasn't enough, you guys were mixing up drinks back there.
Yeah,
Andrea was mixing up a drink. What's this?
So this is called the Cabana Life, and it's a cocktail that our bartender Matt Gillum from St. Elmo's created and actually won in the Devour cocktail competition. So we are going to feature it during Devour, and it is outstanding. Cheers.
This is so good.
Yeah, cheers.
This is going to get me into trouble.
Cheers, chef.
We got a long show to go here, and boy, this is really good.
You got to try some of these. Like, out of all this outstanding stuff that you guys brought us, I'm like salivating over the cheese fritters or whatever you call them.
Well, I'll get you.
You can't take the listing out of the boy.
I'm going to bring you some more cheese fritters when we do Beer Sample Friday because.
Oh, okay.
I mean, even though today is Cabana Life Monday.
Yes.
Those are great with some beer and awesome appetizer.
Well, one more time, if somebody wants to get more information or maybe see a list of the places that are participating, where do they go?
Well, you could go to stelmos.com and get the information there, and it lists all of our brands and the menus that we are offering for Devour.
Man, this is awesome.
Chef Michael, nice to meet you, man. I'd love to hear more about your background someday, man.
Okay.
I bet you got some stories to share.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to meet both of you as well. I'm a big fan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Food sensitivities can cause and perpetuate many health issues like chronic fatigue, autoimmunity, and inflammation. Learn more about food sensitivities at Holistic Integration's free open house event Wednesday, August 30th at 6 p.m. You'll hear from Dr. Robert Prather, host of the Voice of Health Radio, and Kiara Crone, herbalist and nutritional specialist at Holistic Integration. You'll learn how Holistic Integration utilizes state-of-the-art food sensitivity testing with a 96% accuracy that is well above any other test on the market. You'll discover how we determine which foods are contributing to your worsening symptoms and which foods support healing to your body. Healthy refreshments provided, and those who attend will receive a free nutritional consult appointment. That's the Holistic Integration Open House event featuring Dr. Robert Prather Wednesday, August 30th at 6 p.m. RSVP by calling 317-848-8048 or register online at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and it's very rare that you find a true lifetime warranty, but that's exactly what C&J now has available for well owners. Right now, it's 15% off all lifetime pump packages, including the incredible constant pressure pump systems. It's a great time to upgrade your well and pump system to a lifetime of better water. C&J can only do this because they really do install the best equipment. So good, in fact, that they're offering you a lifetime warranty. Don't wait. Call C&J for yours today, 317-852-WELL or cjforwater.com.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
You'll like the AC this week. 94 degrees downtown. The heat index north of 100. All clear under radar. Lows into the 70s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. It's not just the heat that concerns Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service.
What stands out to me is the how prolonged the heat really is. It's going to be all week long from now through Friday. The humidity will be very very excessive.
He says it should cool off a bit by the weekend, and the humidity will go down as well. Until then, though, he says stay hydrated and stay inside. IMPD says they need help finding 2 toddlers believed to be abducted by their father. Rodney Pence is the father of Cortez and Sincere. All 3 were last seen Sunday along Leslie Avenue. Pence drives a red 2004 Cadillac Escalade, say police. He's 6'2", 225 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. More info at WIBC.com. Indiana Task Force 1 has started work in Maui.
We cover every bit of affected area by searching for any area in that affected zone thoroughly and document that with our technology that shows exactly where we've been.
Task Force 1 leader Jay Settergren tells Wish TV he's not sure how long they'll be out there. Tropical storm Hillary may help clear wildfire smoke in the Pacific Northwest. Fox's Kristen Goodwin reports.
Seattle's air quality and pollution ranking as one of the worst in the world, according to Air Quality Index IQ Air, as smoke from several wildfires blankets the region. An air advisory for smoke extended through Tuesday in California's Bay Area. But Fox Weather reports remnants of Tropical Storm Hillary could sweep smoke in the region out to the east. Hillary breaking records for rainfall across California. The National Weather Service revealing virtually all rainfall daily records were broken in Los Angeles County.
We prepared, we provided an emergency response, and now we take steps to survey the damage.
LA Mayor Karen Bass. Meanwhile, flood watches are in effect for portions of eastern Oregon and western Idaho. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
When high school students play sports and they transfer, IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig says there are some important things to remember.
When we're transferring for athletic reasons and set aside the academic piece of this, then we're really not focused on what a high school sport an education-based system needs to be about.
He says the NCAA does a good job managing its transfer portal, but something like that wouldn't work in high school sports. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 3:32.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
With traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison, now we have a crash at 38th at Guyan. Eastbound at 465 slows after Keystone to Allisonville Road. South side eastbound 465 now stop and go traffic from the White River over to Harding. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this season. Get on the books now for a patio this fall. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts changing the way Indy thinks about concrete. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, still warm. Our low temperature at 73 degrees. Tomorrow, another sunny and hot one. High temperature up to 93 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
The Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Guy Relford, 2A attorney, licensed firearms instructor. Here, he's the host of the Gun Guy Show, Saturdays on 93 WIBC. Guy, how are you?
Man, I'm great, and thanks as always to our sponsor for Monday Gun Day. That's Premier Arms in Brownsburg, with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest, and PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg or premierarms.com.
Start at any number of places. The Biden, costing thousands of legal gun sellers their licenses. I want to get to that. I want to get to Chicago Chicago Democrats asking gang members to refrain from shootouts between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Let's start with Chicago and Indy, though. I've seen a couple of headlines. I'm seeing more headlines about Glock switches.
Yeah.
A kid was busted at school with one. Give us an update on this, on what that is and where we are with that.
Yeah, we were talking about a headline coming out of Chicago. The Chicago police were reporting that they're seeing a whole lot more of these handguns that have been converted into machine guns, into fully automatic firearms, by the use of what a lot of people just call a Glock switch. And it's a fairly simple device that, when installed on a handgun, actually converts it from semi-automatic to fully automatic. So you pull the trigger and hold the trigger back, and it keeps shooting. It's a machine gun. And the Indiana legislature actually took action on this issue just this last session and made possession of just one of these switches illegal under Indiana law. It was already illegal under federal law, and possession of a gun that had been converted to full automatic with one of these switches was already illegal under both Indiana and federal law. Indiana sort of matched federal law and said, all right, we find a kid, they're finding gang members with a pocket full of these switches that they're selling to other gang members. And Indiana then made that illegal as well. And there's no way to own one of these legally because they're already illegal under federal law. Plus, they can't be registered as a machine gun under the National Firearms Act, even though old machine guns that are imported or manufactured before 1986 actually can be legally possessed. But these modified Glocks or modified handguns or these switches can't be made legal through that process. So that's why if kids are caught with them or anyone's caught with them, it's now a crime under both state and federal law. But the point in all of this really is that police really are seeing many, many more of these, including the example you cited, Nigel, which was a kid showed up at North Central High School with a gun that had been converted to full auto with one of these switches.
Is this an easy conversion? Like, can a high school kid that is certainly not like you, Guy, the gun guy, but can a high school kid make this kind of transition on a gun?
Yeah, and in fact, they're even pretty easy to make one of these switches with a laser printer, with a 3D printer. So it's not really sophisticated technology at all.
So if these are illegal to begin with,
yeah,
then why do we hear so many people, gun control advocates, getting out and yelling, we've got to get these Glock switches off the streets? Well, they're supposed to be off the streets already, right?
Well, that's right. And what that means is, and this is what we invariably talk about the way to combat crime, which is to enforce existing laws.
Right.
Because, again, these switches have always been illegal under federal law, and they're now illegal under state law. And any gun that's already been converted with them has already been illegal under state and federal law. So if we need to get them off the street, so be it. Enforce existing laws. Don't run to the legislature and say, ooh, we need more laws.
And it's not like you're out here waving some flag for Glock switches either. You're not advocating for Glock switches at all.
Not at all. I mean, you could go back and debate the wisdom of the original 1934 National Firearms Act that made machine guns restricted to begin with. But no, I mean, the bottom line is these things are illegal, and then possession of one is illegal. And so if they're causing law enforcement headaches or people are committing crimes with them, there are legal avenues today to get these people arrested and put in jail.
It's Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford with us. Nige kind of teased this earlier, but this sounds like a headline out of like the Babylon Bee or the Onion or something.
It does. It totally does.
Chicago Democrat asking for gang members to refrain from shooting each other from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m.
I looked for the Bee or the Onion link on this. I absolutely did. I go, this can't be real. This has to be satire. But literally, this city councilor in Chicago is saying, it's more likely that innocent people are going to get caught up in the gang warfare and gang violence when it happens during the daylight hours. So we've gone to the gangs in my district there in Chicago and said, please limit your shootouts to 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Not not stop shooting people, not stop committing murders, just restrict the time, and so now I'm expecting the signs to go up, like drive-bys prohibited, 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
If we catch you murdering somebody at 4 p.m, you'll get a ticket.
Yeah, you're really, really in trouble. I mean, it had to be satire, but it's not. And she's like, listen, we didn't get here overnight. We're not going to dig out of this hole overnight, so we have to start somewhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have lost the battle if you think you're gonna save lives by asking gangs to please refrain from shooting each other during certain hours.
So the public safety plan in Chicago from Chicago Democrats is crossing your fingers that the law-abiding gang members decide not to shoot each other from 9 to 9.
Yeah, with your request that they're going to comply with your request for a voluntary, cessation from hostilities during certain hours of the day. I thought it was the most hilarious thing I've read in a long time. And actually, the note I sent back when you guys sent me the link, I said, if this wasn't so pathetic, it would be hilarious.
Right. This is a real solution from an elected official.
Yeah.
Asking gang members if you could not be gang members from 9 until 9.
Yeah, just give us a break for a little while, and we'll all live happily ever after.
8:59 p.m. Do not dare fire that gun. 9:01 p.m. All's fair. Love and war.
I want to see that come on. At the beginning of the news. Public service announcement is just a reminder that it is now 9 p.m. and therefore you are fully authorized to go out on the street and commence shooting your fellow.
It's as useful. It's as useful as gun-free zones, in my opinion. It's kind of the same idea. Like
exactly
crime-free zone. We're banning crime from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Gun-free zones. We're banning guns here in this public space.
If I were a gang member,
good luck.
And a smartass at the same time, at 9 o'clock, Nige, I would take your advice. I would walk outside with like a starter pistol. Boom. We now commence gang shooting time.
Doesn't it feel like the movie The Purge?
It does.
Like, oh, look, it's 9 p.m.
Right.
Let the violence commence.
Better be home by 9 because that's when it's official shooting time in Chicago.
Unbelievable. But the reason they have so much gang violence is what? Indiana's gun laws.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Indiana's fault.
Right.
Guy Relford with us. I've always said that my home away from home, the state of Tennessee, is very similar to Indiana. It's a red state, but there are pockets of blue in there. And the governor might as well have a D next to their name. Now,
sounds familiar.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities. Red state, Nashville, vibrant city, very blue. Indianapolis used to be a vibrant city, very blue. But the governor, the Republican governor of a red state, is now trying to push gun control through the Tennessee State House guy as what I feel like is a complete overreaction to the Nashville shooting. Even though the Tranifesto has never been released, this quote Republican governor, he's all about gun control.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you how even quote unquote Republicans, and we may have seen a little bit of this in the mayor's race right here in Indianapolis, if they think it's politically expedient, man, they'll jump right on the bandwagon, even where it makes no sense. Because the point you just made, to me, Hammer, is the most important one, which is, this is a reaction to the shooting at the Covenant School. And was it horrible? Yes. 3 young kids lost their lives. 3 administrators lost their lives. You had a person who was, a transsexual female? I don't know. It was a female who dressed like a man who goes to this school, was evidently upset something from her experience there, kills a bunch of people, has written a manifesto. No one would release that. For some reason, the school doesn't want it released. So we don't know what motivated this person. You would think that'd be the first thing anyone would look at, which is what caused this person to become this violent. And should we be looking for more people like this person to head this off? And oh no, the reaction is, let's hide that from everyone. Let's don't publicize that. Let's don't help diagnose this problem in the future. Let's hide all that, but let's go to the legislature and restrict the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. That's the solution. And the fact that a Republican governor is now signed off on that, apparently, or at least pushing for this special session that's supposed to be specifically dedicated to gun control, that's completely repugnant to me. It's headed in the completely wrong direction, but unfortunately we see it over and over.
Can you come back for one more segment?
You betcha.
Guy Relford with us. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
How would you like to free up
some serious cash, or at the very least, cut your monthly payments by $1,000 or so each month. Hey, what's up? It's Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel show. People are doing that every day with Loan Pronto's all new Equity Express line of credit. Listen, your home value is way up, and Loan Pronto can help you access the equity without touching your primary mortgage. You can get tens of thousands out with very little paperwork and usually without an appraisal. With Loan Pronto, you can get $50,000 or $100,000 out right now. Pay off all of those 27% interest credit cards or your personal loans. For every $10,000 of debt that you consolidate, you can cut your monthly payments by nearly $500. Stop paying insane credit card rates. Call Loan Pronto right now. 317-953-6525. 317-953-6525 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
I have a friend who just moved to St. Louis. Huge career switch, but she's still paying mortgage here in town, just killing her financially. She used the traditional home selling process as something like an agent that had been in the family forever, and what a nightmare this has been. Matt Bear here. Hey, it makes me know that I'm using Open Door and the Open Door app because they let me skip all the hassles that come with buying and selling your home. You pick the closing date, so no double mortgages. You're in control from the very beginning, and the process, man, is so streamlined. You could request an offer from anywhere on any device, even sell your house and buy your next house all in one move. I mean, there isn't always a perfect time to move. Open Door can help anytime be a perfect time. Take control of your move when you start with Open Door. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open Door app. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, JMV here with Lance Smith, owner of LD Smith Plumbing. And Lance, what's that on your shirt?
Well, I just helped pull out 50 feet of old sewer line and installed a new water heater. Oh, and I just ate some chocolate pudding, too.
So that could be mud, chocolate, or...
I guess so.
Oh, no, Lance. We're out of here. Let Lance and his heroes handle all of your plumbing problems. They're truly dirty, stinking honest. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
Have you lost Indiana Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Looking for a safe and accepting educational environment for your teenager? One with individualized learning plans focused on their strengths, interests, and future aspirations? Hoosier College and Career Academy is a full-time online public school focused on credit recovery and career preparation for students in grades 7 through 12. Hoosier College and Career is now enrolling, and best of all, it's tuition-free for Indiana residents. Learn more at k12.com/Hoosier. Create a successful future for your teen at Hoosier College and Career Academy.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Matt Bear, at the end of this upcoming segment, you need to get in studio and get some of this awesome food left behind from the devoured downtown folks. Because if you don't hustle, Guy Relford may eat it all. Okay? So, at top of the hour, you need to come in here and grab some food.
Hell yes. Crash at 38th and Guyan Road, also on the south side. Eastbound 465, stop and go traffic from Kentucky Avenue over to Harding. That's a crash on the east side, Washington at Post Road. And on the northeast side, eastbound 465, slows Keystone to Allisonville. Traffic is sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. No subcontractors ever big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates, WIBC Traffic.
93 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC. Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford joining us here in studio. So, Guy, this report from the New York Post revealed that the ATF has wrongfully taken licenses away from 122 gun dealers over the past year. These are supposed to be the experts: alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. It's literally in their name, but it seems like they're just taking away these licenses from gun dealers because they don't like them.
Well, it's a directive from the White House, and I think that's been abundantly clear since Biden has been in the White House. And in fact, I've talked to a whole lot of gun store owners, and that's who we're talking about here. When we talk about federal firearms licenses, we're talking about the license you need to run a retail gun store, to buy and sell guns commercially, and you have to get your federal firearms license. And what I've been told over and over again is that the ATF folks and they're a group called Industry Operations within ATF, and historically they've gone around to gun stores and they come in and they check their inventories and they check their paperwork and they make sure all their background check documentation is in order and whatnot. And the ATF guys in Industry Operations historically, I've seen their job as just helping gun store owners stay on the right side of the law. Helping them know how to do things, make sure they're complying with the regulations, which are very complex and very in depth. But that's changed under Biden, and the directive clearly is, because I've heard this directly from ATF agents, that the directive now is find some reason for the gun stores within your jurisdiction. Find some reason to put these people out of business.
Wow.
Well, this is the MO of the Biden administration,
That's
right?
exactly right.
They knew they couldn't pass the Green New Deal, so they disguised it. They called it something else and passed it through.
Build Back Better.
The Build Back Better plan.
Yeah.
And this is the same deal here. Biden wanted to ban guns, knew he couldn't do it constitutionally, so he's just going to blame human error in the ATF.
Well, that's exactly right. And I was talking to one gun store owner who actually is a very good friend of mine. I go back 30, 40 years with this person. And he said his ATF agent that he's been working with since he opened his store 3 or 4 years ago said, you know what, I think I'm actually going to leave the ATF because I don't like my job today. My job used to be to help the people that ran gun stores within my jurisdiction. My job used to be to help them and to help them stay on the right side of the law. My job today is to find some reason, some ridiculous excuse to yank your license and put you out of business. I don't want to do that anymore. But that's what these people are being told to do, and they're out doing it. It was something like 350%.
Right,
revocations are up just over the last year
compared to 2021. License removal is up 350%.
That is nuts.
Now, if you're telling me it's up 5, if it's up 7, then you could argue, okay, maybe this has happened. Maybe that's happened. Perhaps it is human error. 350% is on purpose.
And these are not bad people. These are not people that are secretly running guns out the back door, to the Mexican drug cartel. No, the ATF does that itself. Fast and Furious, if you remember that. But these are not bad people who are breaking the law intentionally and therefore losing their licenses. These are not people being prosecuted for crimes. These are people just being caught with not having the right signature on the right form, or not having the address block in the correct location on a particular form. I mean, it's the most ridiculous kind of hair splitting and nitpicking that ATF is now using to force these people out of business.
Got a couple of minutes left here. The first presidential debate is Wednesday. Now, Donald Trump will not be a part of that, and it looks like he is going to be the nominee unless something crazy happens, Guy. But do you anticipate any sort of gun topic to come up, any sort of 2A topic, anything you want to hear about?
Well, I enthusiastically voted for Donald Trump in the 2 general elections that he ran in. However, he does not have a spotless record on 2A. I mean, he's the guy.
Bump stock.
He's the guy who, in the context of red flag laws, said take the guns first, due process later. And bump stocks, exactly as Nigel just said. He's the guy that said bump stocks are gone. And look, I didn't care about bump stocks, but he went to the ATF and said find a way to make these illegal without going to Congress. And Biden has now used that model on any number of different issues, including arm braces, pistol braces. So Trump is not spotless on two-way, and anybody who follows two-way knows that. So if people are looking at the Republican candidates and looking at that debate that he's not going to participate in, it is a way for people on that stage, even in his absence, to separate themselves from Donald Trump, who obviously is blowing everybody away in the polls right now. But this is a way perhaps for somebody like a Ron DeSantis to make up some space.
Where can people continue this conversation, hire you, or just stalk you, Guy?
Yeah, you can find me through Twitter, or I guess we say X now. But
it's Twitter.
Yeah, it's Twitter.
Deer Creek, the Hoosier Dome.
Exactly right. Just at Guy Relford on Twitter.
Guy, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Galaxy Concrete Garage Floor is out of this world. I saw that Casey Daniels got her new custom Galaxy Concrete coating on her garage floor. I go, I got to bring these guys to my house because my garage had not been taken care of. The floor was cracked. They came in within a day, changed the entire look of my garage by putting in something stronger. They coated it with, it's not epoxy. That's the old stuff. It's polyurea. That's the new premium standard for coatings. And by the way, the manufacturer just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to lifetime. Get your garage done by these guys, man. Go to the website to see pictures, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call their office 751-9070.
Whether you're an experienced firearms owner or are just thinking about getting a new firearm, Atkinson Firearms in Greenwood has everything you need. With brands like Glock, Smith & Wesson, Canik, Colt, Henry, SIG, and much more. If Atkinson Firearms doesn't have it, they can get it. Plus accessories, from holsters to ammo and everything between. Atkinson Firearms is firefighter owned and veteran staff with a new larger location. Follow Atkinson Firearms on Facebook. Atkinson Firearms, off County Line Road next to the Greenwood Airport.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Tony Katz here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. This is your premier gun store. Premier Arms has the experience and know-how to help the new gun buyer and the most experienced marksman. They've been in business for over 20 years and have a friendly, knowledgeable staff that wants to help you, not talk down to you. Premier Arms in Brownsburg is family-friendly, so bring the kids. All ages are welcome. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. premierarms.com.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Do you have a crawl space? Do you know what's in your crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real local Indiana family-owned crawl space and basement repair contractor. Protect your family and your home from your unhealthy crawl space by calling Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts for a free crawl space consultation at 317-407-1868 or SwainCoLLC.com. And don't forget to ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Let us send you your home's value today. Go to HoosierHomeValues2023.com. From Crossroads Collective, title sponsor of the first day, Sundays 11 to 1.
Want to explore using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits to heat and cool your home or business? Learn more at AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Indiana's ban on nearly all abortions will likely become law. It's going to be a hot week in Indiana, and Sam Fritz reports on a Hoosier cartoonist being honored by the state. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
The DeSantis defense on Lisa Brady, Fox News. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis taking some heat for suggesting some Republicans are like listless vessels, wanting to follow whatever former President Trump says and to measure other Republicans' conservative credentials by their loyalty to Trump. Instead, DeSantis says it's about results.
And I think what you've had, the people in Congress that I was referring to that have attacked me and tried to say somehow that I was a rhino, they're putting entertainment and personality over principle. Our voters want us to stand on principle and fight for them.
DeSantis also telling Fox News that everyone should debate and has a responsibility to earn people's votes. He's one of 8 candidates set to face off Wednesday night on Fox after meeting all of the requirements for the first Republican primary debate in Milwaukee. Former President Trump says he will not be there, pointing to his large lead in the polls. The Biden campaign launching new ads in 7 key states, trying to appeal to Black and Hispanic voters.
The Biden campaign manager Julie Chavez Rodriguez is saying the 2024 Republican primary is a race for the MAGA base, not an effort to earn the support of the voters they'll need to win in November 2024. And our campaign will be making that stark contrast and the important choice before voters very clear.
Fox's Peter Doocy. Republican Party Chair Ronna McDaniel says this week's debate gives the GOP candidates a chance to start making their case. They can do better for American families. President Biden is visiting Maui, where a heartbreaking search and recovery effort continues from wildfires already blamed for at least 114 deaths.
There are currently 850 names on the list of missing persons.
But Maui County Mayor Richard Bisson says it used to be more than 2,000 names. He's asking residents to submit questions ahead of a news conference planned for tomorrow. The president today meeting with officials, first responders, and families, along with the First Lady. A mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 36 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's likely going to become law. 93 degrees and cloudy. Indiana under a heat advisory until Thursday night. Your radar is clear, and we've got a low of 72 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. The Indiana Supreme Court cleared the way for Indiana's near-total ban on abortion to take effect. John Herrick explains how.
The state's highest court announcing Monday that it had denied a rehearing on its June 30th decision on Indiana's new abortion restrictions. The Supreme Court's decision means a state appeals court can now certify that decision, which would allow the new law to take effect. The law completely bans abortion in Indiana, with just a few exceptions. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita calls this great news for Hoosier life and liberty, and the ACLU of Indiana says it's a dark day in the state's history. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IMPD says they need help in finding 2 toddlers believed to be abducted by their dad. Rodney Pence is the father of Cortez and Sincere. The 3 were last seen Sunday along Leslie Avenue. Pence, police say, drives a red 2004 Cadillac Escalade. He's 6'2", 225 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. More info at WIBC.com. It's going to be a hot week in Indiana.
Heat indices over 105 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's what it's going to feel like outside, says Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service. He says there will be small chances for rain here and there, but temperatures won't cool back down until the weekend. The state of Indiana plans to honor a political cartoonist next month. Sam Fritz has the story.
On September 1st, the Indiana Historical Bureau is honoring Frank McKinney Hubbard, better known as Ken Hubbard, with a historical marker in Brown County State Park. Brown County was the setting for Hubbard's widely syndicated political cartoon, Abe Martin. The single-panel cartoon was syndicated in over 300 newspapers by the time of Hubbard's death in 1930. Brown County State Park is hosting an unveiling for the historical marker that is open to the public. Festivities will take place just outside of the appropriately named Abe Martin Lodge at 10:30. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
The traffic on the 5s at 4:05. How the roads, Matt Bear?
Yeah. Harrison, looking at the south side, eastbound 465 stop-and-go traffic right now from I-70 over to Harding. Big fat stall covering the right lane right now, causing that delays 25 minutes. Inbound 65 stop-and-go 21st to Meridian Bed. Eastbound 70 slows to downtown from Tibbs, and that's a crash on the east side, Washington Street at Post. Traffic sponsored by Speedway. At Speedway, your 7th cup of coffee is free with Speedy Rewards, so go wild. The convenience stores of Speedway, valid through 1/9/24. Participating U.S. store. See app for full terms. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, still warm. Our low temperature at 73 degrees. Tomorrow, another sunny and hot one. High temperature up to 93 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's... It's still amazing to me that 2 weeks after the Hawaiian wildfires, countless lives lost, we still don't know the total count. Active duty U.S. military has still not been asked to go help and intervene over there. It's mind-boggling to me. FEMA's over there. And then after facing criticism for his response to the disaster, Joe Biden's going to meet with federal, state, local leaders in Maui today, and he's scheduled to be there for about 2 hours.
So he's going to fly in, walk around, look a little bit, do a few photos, and then leave. And then he can say that I went there and I was on the front lines. I mean, it's a mess over there. And our colleague, Tony Kennett, he's got his own program coming soon here to WIBC, right. Investigative reporter for the Daily Signal. He's in Hawaii right now. And some of the things that he's reporting on and showing us video, it's incredibly eye-opening. Now, Joe Biden's FEMA admin director was grilled on CNN for their lack of progress and lack of information.
You say that we have to ask the Hawaii officials for the count, but you also say that you are working with them. I think it's hard for people to understand, there are potentially 1,000 people who have perished in this fire. How can we not know more about this many days out?
Yeah, again, we take all of our numbers from the local officials and we are supporting them with our teams to help better understand. And I think the unaccounted piece is just making sure that we're accounting for everybody that was reported as missing. And it could be that they are staying with family and friends and we haven't been able to contact them yet. There's a lot of different reasons on why people are unaccounted for.
Guess what? There's a lot of there's a lot of unaccountability. There's no accountability, no answers. What is going on in Maui? Seriously, they can't tell us not only how many people are missing, but they don't know how many kids are missing. They don't have an official count on children that have gone missing after the wildfires, Hammer.
So the death toll is officially at 114 right now, but the mayor of Maui said that around 850 people are still missing. And the search to find the identity of some of these victims is incredibly slow because it feels like nobody is leading there. And situations like this, you need to have absolute strong leadership, and you're not getting that right now. Again, Tony Kennett, who's going to join us on Wednesday on our program, follow him on Twitter @TheTonus. He's there.
He's on
right
the ground.
Now.
Yeah.
He's walking around. He's talking to locals, talking to officials. And his reporting shows that the public information officer of Maui is nowhere to be found. Residents, they're not being allowed access into their own properties right now. and it's a mess.
Several of the houses in Lahaina are still standing, while houses next to them have been burnt to the ground down to the concrete and aluminum. You cannot get close to the police station. They won't let you up the hill towards the police station. We were let through National Guard as media, and when we got to the top of the hill, several police officers approached us. They would not tell us where the public resource officer was who's supposed to be talking to media. Everyone that we've talked to that's in uniform is incredibly frustrated with the way this is being handled from a leadership level. You have community watch setups where individuals are trying to keep external organizations out of their neighborhoods. There's a lot of other situations here in Lahaina that are currently developing that make it really difficult to document because the organization from federal and local authorities has been so abysmal and confusing.
Wow.
And that starts at the top. When Joe Biden tells you multiple times, no comment, or what can you tell us about your trip? Nothing, no. I mean, you can tell that's a guy that doesn't want to be there. Joe Biden was ticked off that his beach vacation was interrupted by reporters having the audacity to ask him about a tragedy in one of the states in the country.
That's all right. I mean, he was there for 2 hours, and he's going straight back to vacation, please.
Tony Kennett asked some of the locals in Hawaii their thoughts on Joe Biden's visit.
When you're the president of the United States of America, you have to know what's going on. You know, you got all these people that surround, supposed to be advising you what's going on. For you to say something like no comment, I don't know. I can't even respond to such comment.
We have the largest Marine base in the world, the largest Navy fleet right there. We can see the island. They could have been here in 12 hours.
You think that if he wanted to, the president of the United States or one of his chiefs of staff could have ordered military assistance from Pearl Harbor and the U.S. Pacific Fleet?
There's no question they could have done that. They did it for Ukraine way quicker than the response here in Hawaii.
So again, Tony Kennett on the ground talking to locals because it feels like we're not getting the full story from the mainstream media. And I trust Tony Kennett to really tell us what's going on in terms of a leadership command, if you will, in Hawaii.
What that one witness was saying about the military, he could see the military miles off the island and they're not coming to help. That's because unless you get an official request from Hawaii's governor, the military's not going to go help. You got to get that official request, and he won't do it.
Now, in terms of insurance, there's a lot of chatter about insurance and what's allowed to be helped in Hawaii and what's not. According to Tony Kennett, State Farm is doing their best to take care of people, but FEMA is making this incredibly difficult. According to Tony Kennett, FEMA will not work with anybody who has insurance. So even if you just have a little bit of insurance and your house was totally devastated, FEMA will not work with you. They're passing out rejection letters, and he claims that he has one. Now, let's talk more about FEMA, because FEMA is staying in the most expensive hotel on that island, $1,000 a night. And this is being covered by taxpayers. So instead of just staying somewhere, anywhere, they found the most expensive luxury hotel on that island. It's $1,000 a night, and that is where FEMA is staying, and it's taxpayer money being used for it. And again, Tony Kennett, who's there, will join us on Wednesday. Let's shift gears and bring it back to North America. Not just the United States, but North America. We are going to check in on America and Canada's fight against COVID-19.
COVID-19, oh, I swear that I mean at this moment
there are 3 vaccines.
3. China, piss off. Now you've made
I got it.
Cough. We're all nervous.
Go ahead.
Because of COVID-19.
Oh, beautiful.
So the fine folks in Canada, the Public Health Agency of Canada is tracking a new, highly mutated variant of the COVID-19 virus that has been detected in at least 4 countries. Health Canada says no cases have been detected in Canada so far, but they're keeping an eye on the new variant BA 2.86, Nige, just in time for election season.
Did you hear what I was listening to before we turned the microphones on here? Somebody sent me a TikTok of Alex Jones, one of his broadcasts, that said he met with a high-level official at TSA, and also met with a federal official that says masks are coming back in September because of the COVID variant in Canada.
That's a pretty good Alex Jones you do.
Turn the frogs gay.
I mean, that's a pretty good
in the water,
impression.
turn the frogs gay. I'm going to eat my neighbors.
Little frat boy, so cool.
Come back to your bathhouse.
But
I don't know.
We've been getting messages from people. We've been getting messages from people saying, I've heard that it's going to be mask mandates again this fall.
And then later this year, lockdown procedures a la 2020 and 2021.
I say good luck with that.
Yeah.
What was it George W. Bush once said? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me, won't be fooled again. Now, the first time you may have gotten away with this crap, but I got a feeling that this ain't going to fly.
I don't know. You watch. There are still some COVID hysterics out there that are just waiting for this kind of thing.
They lock down again. You're handing the Republicans an election. And I don't think they want to do that. Presidential election is next year. I know they want to scare people into voting from home, but with all the crap that we went through and we see all the effects that it had on kids missing school, I don't think they want to go down that road again.
I don't know. I mean, they're mail-in ballots, man. You know, the fuzzy math, the jelly bean counters, as Rob Kendall says on his show. This might be. I wouldn't like. Now, look, I'm not going to really listen to anything Alex Jones has to say, but I met with a TSA official. Said lockdown's coming, the masks coming back in September. Then in October, lockdown. You know, I don't know. I mean, is that completely out of the realm of possibility? Is he Joe Biden pulling something like that?
I could see it. Plus, it's an excuse for Biden not to get out and campaign, which he doesn't want to do anyway, assuming he's going to be the nominee. There's a lot of ifs, ands, what haves you in that situation there. But if you start seeing more coverage of COVID this fall, remember, there's only one thing to do.
It seems that everything's gone wrong since Canada came along. Blame Canada, blame Canada.
They're not even a real country anyway.
Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic right now from Tibbs Avenue into Meridian, Illinois. Southside hurting right now on the eastbound side of 465. It is stop-and-go traffic from I-70 almost to Harding. We have a vehicle broken down in the right lane. Inbound 65 stop-and-go from 21st on in, and now a crash. It's Bantha Road at South Meridian. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for unbeatable deals like premium Bosch stainless steel dishwasher starting at just $449. Learn more at Grand Appliance. Or store near you. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
You guys can talk to this clown.
Oh, yeah. Look at the little frat boy. So cool. Go back to your bathhouse.
Go back to your bathhouse.
93. Heat advisory in effect until Thursday night here at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-646-7049 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-646-7049. That's 800-646-7049. What do you have to lose? Call 800-646-7049. Again, 800-646-7049.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop.
Sarah, you don't look so good. Are you okay?
To be honest, I did it again last night. I promised myself it would be just one glass of wine, and I drank the whole bottle.
You need to get the drinking under control, Sarah. Trust me, I know. Wine o'clock used to be my favorite time of day, but I found that one glass always turned into more and realized I needed help. I did some research and found naltrexone.
Naltrexone?
It's an FDA-approved medication that reduces cravings and pleasure from drinking, making it easier to drink less or quit alcohol altogether. I started seeing results almost immediately.
How'd you get started with naltrexone?
It's easy with Or Health. Just send them a text and get a secure link to their private online assessment. One of their licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment and, if medication is right for you, prescribe it directly online. They even deliver your prescription right to your front door. No doctor's office visits required.
Thanks, Anne. I'm texting now.
You really can stop drinking or just drink less. Text PROMISE to 323232 to get started today. Text the word PROMISE to 323232. Text PROMISE to 323232.
Basements get a bad rap, probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. They have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
Want to explore using Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits to heat and cool your home or business? Learn more at AbsoluteComfort.org. That's AbsoluteComfort.org.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I am going to run some stories by you. You break down all of the information that's been presented, and you give us the verdict. Is it anything or not?
Easy enough.
Dateline, Mississippi. A 10-year-old from Mississippi was arrested when he was busted for peeing behind his mother's car.
What?
10-year-old arrested because he took a leak behind his mom's car. Here she is, and here he is talking about the arrest.
I'm just speechless right now because, for one, I can't believe it happened. Like, why would you arrest a 10-year-old kid? I was like, son, why did you do that? He said, Mom, my sister said they ain't got a bathroom in there. Another officer came over there and was like, your son got to get out of the car. He got to be arrested because he can't do that.
I started, crying a little bit. They had, took me down there, and they got me out the truck, and I wouldn't know what was happening.
You know, there's no bigger supporters of law enforcement than you and I in this show. That goes without saying, I think. But that being said, the cops here are in the wrong. Give me a break. Come on. I mean, there's bums out on this street here in Indianapolis that you've seen personally doing much worse things to their body, with their body, in grocery cars.
Yes.
And they nothing's done about it. A 10-year-old peeing behind his mom's car. Really? So after the arrest, the police department said, yeah, look, this was an error in judgment to transport the kid to the police station, and even especially since the mother was present.
Right.
The cops are in the wrong on this one. Don't like saying that, but call it how it is. The cops are wrong.
Now, did the kid have a rap sheet? Is this
He's 10 years old?
Right. Did the kid have a rap sheet? Because if he's got a history of breaking the law, maybe this is like the old Al Capone situation. Al Capone was never arrested for being, a mobster.
Yeah,
he was arrested for tax evasion. Yeah. Maybe this kid has stolen a bunch of stuff, robbed a couple houses. I don't know. Maybe that's their chance to take him in. But if it was just peeing behind a car, let him go.
Oh, man, me and my buddy almost got busted for the same thing in Broad Ripple years ago. Out behind Marco's Pizza, it was 3 o'clock. We were just, bars were closed, 3:30, and we'd ordered a pizza, but there's no bathrooms in the place, right? So we snuck out back by the trash cans, fenced in, wooden fenced-in trash cans.
Right.
And I mean, we're both just unloaded. Oh, just because we've just been holding in our bladder the entire time, right? And all of a sudden, it's come out with your hands up. This is the police. Come out with your hands up.
Oh no!
So we both, two dudes, come stumbling out behind a fence with our pants, pants undone, belt buckles undone. Our hands are in the air. What are you guys doing back there?
It was like something about Mary.
Yeah, I go, we were just peeing, I swear. We were just peeing.
Oh, yeah, we're all just peeing back here.
The cop put his gun back in immediately, and he got on he had his walkie-talkie on his shoulder. He goes, all right, never mind. They're just peeing. Let him go. They thought we were breaking into the place.
Right.
It was somebody had seen us and thought we were breaking in behind. And that's so I've been there. Hey, look, I've been there, kid. I know how it feels. But there's no reason to take a 10-year-old in for, their bladders are very weak at that age, aren't they?
Yeah, sure. We're all just peeing over here. Belt undone.
Both of our belts were undone. Our flies were still open. I don't think I ever had a chance to wash my hands after that.
Is this anything? Here's a woman in San Francisco losing her mind because an ambulance is parked in the bike lane.
I am losing my mind. There is an ambulance in the bike lane. There is a business they could park in. They could block the car lane. They could block the non-existent motorcycles parked lane. And two other cars and an Amazon Prime in the bike lane. And I am not even half a mile away from home on a rainy day. Unbelievable. They're killing us. They're killing us.
They're killing us. I just had the worst thought pop in my head as soon as you said they're killing us, and that was good, die.
Can we get those cops from Mississippi to come back and arrest this woman in San Francisco?
They could have parked in the non-existent motorcycle lane. They could have parked in the car lane, but they're in the bike lane. They're killing us all. It is San Francisco. I mean, I would expect that type of behavior from anybody using a bike lane in San Francisco.
And did I catch a motorcycle out of her mouth right
Did you
there?
say motorcycle?
What is she, 5? A motorcycle? Is she going to eat some sketty afterwards? Ridiculous. Is this anything?
Oh, man.
Louisiana parents were upset after the school board's decision to move from a 5-day school week to a 4-day school week. The school says lack of teachers and employees is one of the reasons for the shorter school week. Here are parents and the superintendent talking about the change.
It's cutting down kids' learning. It's costing more out of parents' pockets for daycare. After-school activities is going to be hard to get to.
It's a nationwide issue with teacher recruitment and employee recruitment. Making sure people are happy on their jobs were some of the factors that led into us considering moving to a 4-day work week.
I don't think they're going to get their education like they need to.
Yes, kids' education across the country is already suffering. 4-day work weeks. I'm so sorry. 4-day school days, completely unacceptable. I mean, like Louisiana is, I think, 46th overall in education. Can't get much worse. There's only a couple above you there. 41st in pre-K through 12, 49th in higher education. Awful stats there, and I don't know what you do about it. I mean, you got to get these teachers paid. I'm all for giving teachers more money, but you got to get rid of all the DEI stuff. You got to get rid of all the woke stuff. You got to get rid of all the rules.
And some of the admins are going to have to say, hey, maybe we don't need to make 6 figures for posting on Facebook once or twice a week. It's an admin problem in a lot of these schools.
A lot of discipline.
Schools.
Yeah, like the equity in terms of discipline for some students. Some students get different rules for different actions.
Right.
That's going to stop.
And another thing, and we've talked about this with Tony Kennett, who's been an educator, the behavior of the kids.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And the parents at home who just let them go to school and act like just convicts. I don't blame the teachers for saying, you can't pay me enough to sit there and listen to this BS. I get it. I totally do. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Go to the Hammer and Nigel Facebook page. You should check out these before and after photos of my sidewalk and front porch. They were absolutely falling apart. It's an old house, and it was the original sidewalk and porch. I needed it completely replaced. Indie decorative concrete wow, they did a killer job. Completely took out my old stuff, put in brand new stamped sidewalk, custom porch. Everyone that works for them is a W-2 employee. No subcontractors coming to your house. So if you're in the market, whether it's a new patio, sidewalk, porch, whatever, don't do anything until you've checked out indiedecorativeconcrete.com and tell them Nigel sent you.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
I have a number that could potentially change your life.
Oh my gosh, please share it with me.
And for once, it could be for the better.
Okay. What's the number?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's 36.
Okay. What about it?
How would you like to get a 36% bonus when you invest your money?
Yes, please.
So if you invest $100,000, you get a $36,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $72,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. And not only can you get a 36% bonus, you also get a competitive return, an average of 7% a year for the past 10 years. Plus, your money is backed by one of the largest insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call our friend Bill Demery, your retirement guy. He's right here in Indy at 317-932-9912.
36 could be the number for you, too. This 36% bonus won't last long, so call 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A hot week in the Hoosier State. 94 degrees and cloudy downtown. All clear with the radar. Low temps fall to the 70s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. You'll need the air conditioning on most of the week.
High temperatures will be hot, 95 to 100.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service says it's going to feel even hotter with heat indices reaching 100 degrees. Temps will start to cool down Friday. IMPD says they need help in finding two toddlers they believe were abducted by their father. Rodney Pence is the father of Cortez and Sincere. They were last seen Sunday along Leslie Avenue. Pence drives a red 2004 Cadillac Escalade, say police. He's 6'2", 225 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. More info can be found at WIBC.com. If you have any info, give IMPD a call. Former President Trump's bond in his Georgia election case has been set at $200,000. His lawyers met with the Fulton County District Attorney Office today to negotiate the terms of his bond and release. As part of the agreement, Trump can't perform any acts of witness intimidation or communicate about the facts of the case with any co-defendants unless that's through his lawyer. Trump and his co-defendants have until noon Friday to surrender. The sale of U.S. Steel will be a substantial hit to Northwest Indiana.
Not just the thousands of workers who work at U.S. Steel, but also the many, many suppliers and others in the region who are tied directly to the steel industry.
There's also monopoly concern since the company produces 20% of the country's steel, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business. He tells WIBC's Tony Katz workers have sale protection in their union contracts. And your stock report, the Dow dropped 36 points today to 34,463. The NASDAQ up by 206 to 13,497. And the S&P 500 finishing up by 30 to 4,399. Traffic and weather's next. Your time is 4:32.
Stop right now and ask yourself, what is most important to you? Hey, this is Casey Weed at Howard Bailey Financial, the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. We believe in developing retirement plans driven by what is most important to you, your purpose. Then we can build what we call your financial life plan, made up of four main pillars: liquidity for emergencies, income to last a lifetime, flexibility to adapt, estate planning to maximize your legacy, and finally, tax planning to maximize what you can spend and pass on. To learn more about saving on your taxes, get your free digital tax guide. Just call or text TAX42 to 866-482-9559. That's TAX42 to 866-482-9559.
Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
The traffic at 433. Here's Matt Bear.
That is a stall and a delay on the south side. Harrison, eastbound 465. Jammed up right now from Kentucky Avenue almost to Harding. When you get to Harding, the right lane is closed because of a stall right now. Eastbound 70, stop and go to downtown from Holt to Meridian, Illinois. Southbound 65, slow from MLK to Meridian. Penn delay continues from St. Clair Street past Washington. Inbound 69 slows at 96 and a crash on the south side. Banta Road at South Meridian. Traffic sponsored by Hoosier Hardwood Festival. The Hoosier Hardwood Festival features lumberjacks, chainsaw carvers, Twiggy the water skiing squirrel, and family fun. August 25th through 27th in Lebanon. HoosierHardwoodFestival.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, still warm. Our low temperature at 73 degrees. Tomorrow, another sunny and hot one. High temperature up to 93 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
This situation absolutely requires a really futile and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part. We're just the guys to do it.
Hammer and Nigel.
I saw news gathering partners Wish TV reported on this over the weekend. Some parents are kind of upset at Martinsville new policy on cell phones, the school district there on cell phones. So middle school students can't have their cell phones in the classrooms, and they got to keep them in the locker until they're done for the day. That's the new policy.
Now, at first glance, you would say, well, good. You shouldn't be having your phone out in the classroom. But the reason why a lot of parents are concerned about this is, what if there's an emergency at the school? It's a different time now than it was years ago. What if some moron brings his parents' gun to school, starts shooting things up?
I get that. Yeah.
You want to be able to reach your son or daughter. They need to be able to call for help. Now, the problem with that is, let's be honest, in middle school, that's the age where the kids act like clowns the most. It really is. That's where you're going to find the most ridiculous, snotty behavior, rowdy kids, snotty chicks, and they're going to get their phones out during class. They're going to get their phones out during the classroom time, in the hallway, and what do you do then?
Is there a way that you can monitor that? Is there a protocol or a rule that you could put in place to say, all right, you can carry your cell phones around with you, but I better not see them out in class. If I do, they will be confiscated. That could be a reasonable compromise, right?
Is detention with suspension still a threat to kids? Like, if you get busted, with your cell phone in class, after the third time, you get a suspension. You get detention every time. Or after 3 is a suspension.
After 3, you don't bring it to school anymore, or don't bring it to classroom anymore.
You lose the privilege
You
of
lose
it.
the privilege. I think that would be a good compromise. I understand that, there was a very concerned mother on that piece that Wish TV did about, hey, look, I know there's rules in place right now, and I understand where they're coming from, but also a concerned parent, I want to be able to get a hold of my kid if something were ever to go down in school. Now, Martinsville School District is saying, look, all the classrooms are equipped with phones, access to intercoms, and things like that, should there be an emergency. So everybody there are phones in the classroom.
Right, but 20 kids all going for the phone at the same time, how's that going to play out if there's some sort of security threat?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like, to be able to communicate with my kid if something were to go down, just at the very least a text message.
Right.
Yeah, Dad, okay, in class, lockdown.
Mass shooter, running, heading out, something. But you're right. It's at that age, though, the middle school kids, where they're the biggest knuckleheads they're ever going to be in their life. And if you get that phone out in class, it's a detention. After 3 detentions, suspension, or you lose the right to bring your phone in. Because if you keep doing it habitually, you don't deserve the right to have it. Safety be damned. So I don't know. I understand where the parents are coming from. I understand where the school's coming from. But it feels like there's enough understanding to meet in the middle somewhere. Like, all right, we want the kids to have their phone, but if you keep getting busted with it, we're going to take it away, or they're going to get kicked out of school, suspension, something like that. Let us know where you're at on this. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We got the YouTube chat going, live cameras in studio. Just look for Hammer and Nigel, and the YouTube chat is the WIBC YouTube channel, and look for the Hammer and Nigel show. So over the weekend talking shows, Meet the Press, hosted by Chuck Todd, guys named Todd, Lanley Chen of the Hoover Institute, which is just fancy talk for saying this is a smart guy. This is a dude that's got his act together. Basically saying that Joe Biden, trying to do a victory lap on Bidenomics and trying to talk people into saying that Bidenomics is a good thing, is actually a bad thing.
I'm a little confused by the whole Bidenomics thing because you're trying to convince people of something. You're trying to convince them their own impressions about the economy are wrong. And so if you look, for example, at how Hispanic and black voters feel about the economy, they'll tell you it stinks. Now, they can keep saying, but we have the CHIPS Act, but we have the IRA. At the end of the day, you can't convince someone that how they're feeling about the economy is wrong. And that's what this election is going to come down to. And I get that they're trying to present a proactive message, but at the end of the day, it's very difficult, I think, to do that when people they simply feel differently.
Yeah, I mean, the gas prices, just as an example, are through the roof right now, pushing $4 a gallon. And I was just having this conversation with my wife on the phone today on my way to work. Like, our dollar has not been going as far as it used to. And we're dual income. I'm very grateful to be dual income families, and she's traveling this week, and she, there was a promotion, and it's still not, we're still like looking at our bank account going, wait a minute, what is going on here? And it's grocery stores, it's gas, it's basic everyday needs that are really just ridiculous in terms of pricing. And they're not coming back, man.
No.
Yeah, they're not coming back.
It's
even
tough.
if inflation goes down. Are you serious? If a company or a store has their prices set at this, and they've had to raise their prices, and inflation starts to come down a little, you think their prices are going to come back down a little? Why would they do that?
It's tough, man. It's a mess, and I got 2 teenage boys, one of them in college.
I'm preaching to the choir here, yeah.
The grocery bill and everything else that's going on, it's staggering. I mean, you look at what, let's say $200 worth of groceries would have gotten you 2 years ago.
No way.
Compared to right now. I mean, it's a swift kick in the junk. And this guy from the Hoover Institute, Lanley Chen, is absolutely right. I mean, families, they get it. They pay bills. They have money. They don't want to hear about the CHIPS Act. They don't want to hear about how Nancy Pelosi's insider trading with the CHIPS Act not only was a good thing for the government, but apparently a very profitable thing for the Pelosi family. They want to talk about gas prices. They want to talk about grocery prices.
Lunch meat was, we looked on the app yesterday to have some groceries, $15 a pound for like turkey. That's double what it was at least 2 or 3 years ago. It was $7 a pound. It has doubled in price. That's just one example, obviously.
Right.
But the people that like us that are at the grocery store every week, if not making multiple orders a week, are definitely feeling it in the pocketbook.
Another place you feel it when you go out to eat. I mean, like literally everything is more expensive, from supply chain issues to the actual food itself. Do you eat a lot of bread when you go out to like a restaurant?
Ooh.
If they bring the dinner rolls out, do you take advantage?
Boy. Oh, like when I go to Ruth's Chris, they have some of the best bread they bring out. That brown bread. Oh, man, it's so good.
So this study...
I just whispered like Joe Biden.
I know it's creepy, and I'm trying to ignore it. This study, free bread at restaurants, actually makes you hungrier. This is a new study.
Oh, what?
The study says that simple carbs, like bread, spike your blood sugar, which makes you hungrier in the short term, which is why they offer you bread before you order in hopes that you'll look at that menu and go, that looks good, and I want a dessert too.
So it kind of primes your appetite.
Right. Some woman on TikTok went viral a couple weeks back after claiming that the free bread or the chips and salsa, whatever it is that they bring to you, are actually a tactic that restaurants use to get you to spend more money.
Have you ever wondered why restaurants give you a bowl of chips or bread before your meals? It's not because they want you to fill up on the free stuff, and they're not being generous. This is actually a way for them to make more money. Here's how. When you sit down at your restaurant, not only are they handing you a menu, but they're also handing you the bread bowl. So as you're eating your bread, you're also looking at the menu. And here's what happens biologically. When you dig into the bread, it's going to cause a blood glucose spike. They know that a glucose spike is going to make you hungrier, crave more, and have a hard time resisting foods. So while it feels like they're being generous, they are actually winning. You order more food, they bring you some more bread, and then offer you a dessert that's nearly impossible to resist.
You buying that?
A lot of studying going into bread here. Can we, work on cancer? Can we work on, not locking us down ever again? I mean, that's an awful lot of information on bread at restaurants right there.
So do you buy it, though? Again, I understand your point about this, there's better things we could be concentrating on, but the question remains, is it a primer for your appetite? Does it make you hungrier filling up on bread before the main course?
I don't think it does. Now, our executive producer, Matt Hiblin, he was the one that sent us this story. And he's very passionate about this. He sent us a follow-up text message after I told him we would be talking about this on the air. Yeah. This is from our executive producer, Matt Hiblin. Quote, "That's ridiculous. I don't believe for a second that anyone has bought more food than they normally would order or intended on because they ate bread. I wasn't very hungry, but then I had a bunch of bread and now I'll order 2 entrees. This doesn't happen. I understand the concept of stimulating your appetite, but for blank's sake, restaurants are not getting over on you by giving you free bread. We are never happier than when we think somebody is screwing us. This is like the thing where we say it actually takes hot water longer to boil than cold water, and it's just complete utter nonsense."
I've never heard that one.
Matt Hiblin, very passionate about the bread study. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I have a friend who just moved to St. Louis. Huge career switch. But she's still paying mortgage here in town, just killing her financially. She used the traditional home selling process as something like an agent that had been in the family forever, and what a nightmare this has been. Matt Bear here. Hey, it makes me know that I'm using Open Door and the Open Door app because they let me skip all the hassles that come with buying and selling your home. You pick the closing date, so no double mortgages. You're in control from the very beginning in the process. Man, it's so streamlined. You could request an offer from anywhere on any device, even sell your house and buy your next house all in one move. I mean, there isn't always a perfect time to move. Open Door can help anytime be a perfect time. Take control of your move when you start with Open Door. Visit opendoor.com or download the Open Door app to get started. That's opendoor.com or download the Open Door app. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Incorporated, license 020-61130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC and its other markets. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, it's back. I'm talking about the heat. I'm talking about the humidity, the scorching, sweaty, swampy temps, the high temperatures forcing your AC into overdrive, leading to sky-high energy bills. No more with Window Nation. If you get new energy-efficient windows from Window Nation, you'll be saving thousands. No money down, no payments, no interest for 2 years. Call them 866-90-NATION or online windownation.com. If you call this week, you get an extra 10% off your order.
No money down, no payments, no interest for 2 full years. And if that deal wasn't good enough, that deal is on top of the existing deal where you get 50% off all style of windows. You name the style, you get half off. Bow, bay, double hung, whatever you want. Save thousands on your new windows, and your energy bills will all get lower because these windows, they're energy efficient. Set up a time to talk with somebody at Window Nation right now. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop.
Sarah, you don't look so good. Are you okay?
To be honest, I did it again last night. I promised myself it would be just one glass of wine, and I drank the whole bottle.
You need to get the drinking under control, Sarah. Trust me, I know. Wine o'clock used to be my favorite time of day, but I found that one glass always turned into more and realized I needed help. I did some research and found naltrexone.
Naltrexone?
It's an FDA-approved medication that reduces cravings and pleasure from drinking, making it easier to drink less or quit alcohol altogether. I started seeing results almost immediately.
How'd you get started with naltrexone?
It's easy with Or Health. Just send them a text and get a secure link to their private online assessment. One of their licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment and, if medication is right for you, prescribe it directly online. They even deliver your prescription right to your front door. No doctor's office visits required.
Thanks, Anne. I'm texting now.
You really can stop drinking or just drink less. Text PROMISE to 323232 to get started today. Text the word PROMISE to 323232. Text PROMISE to 323232.
Looking for a safe and accepting educational environment for your teenager? One with individualized learning plans focused on their strengths, interests, and future aspirations? Hoosier College and Career Academy is a full-time online public school focused on credit recovery and career preparation for students in grades 7 through 12. Hoosier College and Career is now enrolling, and best of all, it's tuition-free for Indiana residents. Learn more at k12.com/Hoosier. Create a successful future for your teen at Hoosier College and Career Academy.
Want to look your best? Then go to the best. Go where I go. 459 Barber Lounge. Across from the Fashion Mall on 86th Street. 459online.com. Tell them Tony Cat sent you.
The Hoosier Hardwood Festival, August 25th through 27th at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Lebanon. Lumberjacks, chainsaw carving artists, family fun, and more. HoosierHardwoodFestival.com.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
Now, Matt Bear, I believe there is a heat advisory in effect, which means you're not allowed to go into heat tonight.
That's exactly what until actually 8 a.m. Wednesday morning. You don't have to wait that long.
Well, it's going to be, take some cold showers, my friend.
No, that's the thing. Love it. South Side, eastbound 465 before Harding Street. We're stopped because of a stall in the right lane. Traffic is stopped back to I-74, 25-minute delay. Never heard that. Inbound 65, stop and go MLK down to 21st, and eastbound 70, stop and go traffic Holt Road to West Street. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete. The patio experts, no subcontractors ever. Big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The temperature is 93. The heat index is 412 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
What am I looking at here, Hammer? Fat Bottom Girls from Queen. It's a classic. Being dropped from the band's greatest hits collection for younger audiences. Why?
Because it's very offensive, Nige. We're fat-shaming people. Fat bottom girls. We can't have that in today's society.
I think they're celebrating them, not shaming them.
So the 1978 classic, Fat Bottom Girls, is now the latest victim of cancel culture. It was dropped from the Queen Greatest Hits collection for younger listeners on the audio platform Yoto, Y-O-T-O. I think it's a little ridiculous, and I wonder what they're going to do when they get to the greatest hits of NWA.
Well, as I said, it's not fat shaming, it's fat celebrating.
Right.
They're celebrating this woman in the song, or the women.
Big Fat Fanny.
Yeah.
Like it's a compliment in this song. Of
course, it's a virtue.
So if I understand this correctly, we have to celebrate Lizzo, you know, when she goes out there in a thong, but we have to cancel Queen?
That's such a good comparison.
That sucks.
You're exactly right.
Well, here at the Hammer and Nigel Show, we do not put up with cancel culture. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Big Nige performing Karaoke Night, Fat Bottom Girls. You're so controversial.
break it down.
Bring it home, baby.
I hear how they're all laughing at me.
Yeah.
That was at my boss's Christmas party a few years ago. Karaoke.
You rocked that thing.
I was out of breath. I had to sit down. I had to sit down afterwards.
A fat guy singing Fat Bottom Girls that needed a break afterwards. Some young Gen Zer's head just spun all the way around right there.
Man. Oh, well.
A skin expert has gone viral with a video saying she can immediately tell if a young person vapes a lot.
Oh, wow.
Usually with vape skin, you start to see crow's feet develop a lot more often. You see a dullness, a sallowness, almost like a gray tone to the skin. Around the mouth, you can start to see discoloration, and usually like in the middle part of your mouth where you'll be inhaling, you can see discoloration, darkness. Your skin starts sagging a lot earlier. Your teeth will show it probably a lot sooner than your skin will if you're young. Forehead lines are created way earlier.
Are you listening, Matt Bear?
Matt Bear's in there taking notes right now. There's smoke coming off the pen.
Any of all those things that she described as someone who vapes, Matt Bear possesses none of those attributes. See, I don't see any crow's feet on Matt Bear.
No. He looks good. He's in shape.
Yeah. Trust me, if given the choice between finding out my kid has been smoking a substance, I'd much rather it be vape than weed or a pack of Camels. Okay?
What if your child was getting the vape from Matt Bear? Would your relationship change if you found out Matt Bear was giving your children
imagine
vapes?
That conversation. I walk back there. Hey, Matt, I caught Connor vaping today. He said he got it from you.
It's going to a dark place.
Are you my son's vape dealer?
No, Nigel.
And young Connor looks up at you. Matt Bear! I learned it from watching Matt Bear! Who taught you how to do this? Oh, anybody our age that remembers that drug PSA.
Yep.
That's so good. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
Do you have a crawl space? Do you know what's in your crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real local Indiana family-owned crawl space and basement repair contractor. Protect your family and your home from your unhealthy crawl space by calling Indy's most trusted, award-winning experts for a free crawl space consultation at 317-407-1868 or SwainCoLLC.com. And don't forget to ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Have you ever dropped off your documents for shredding and wondered what happened to them? At Quick Shred, documents are shred right in front of you at their retail location on East 62nd Street. No appointment needed and convenient curbside assistance is provided. No matter how big or how small, they shred it all. You leave knowing your confidential information has been completely destroyed. Quick Shred is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 and Saturdays, 9 to 2. Quick Shred at 62nd and Binford Boulevard. Quick Shred.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close, or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
When you've been injured in a car wreck, there's a lot at stake. Your family, your job, your future. And the insurance company knows there's a lot at stake for them too. That's why you deserve a law firm with a proven track record of success. I'm attorney Darryl Isaacs. Reputation matters. Experience matters. You matter. When everything's at stake, Isaacs & Isaacs is here for you in Indiana. Just click to get help quick at WeWin.com.
The waves were mighty and fierce as could be when my lady and I got lost at sea. We tossed and turned and we nearly drowned when my brave little boat went down. Whoa, 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 no, none of that's true. You haven't had a date in a year or two. The sea was calm and the sky was clear and you crashed right into the pier. Yeah, fine.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the state Supreme Court won't stand in the way of Indiana's abortion ban. Indy Metro Police are trying to find 2 toddlers and their father, and how Indiana Task Force 1 has been helping out in Hawaii. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You've got temperatures in the 90s and cloudy outside. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Bond is set for the former president, Lisa Brady. Fox News. Court papers outlining an agreement in the Georgia case against former President Trump, with bonds set at $200,000, though Trump has yet to appear in court. There's a noon deadline this Friday for all 19 defendants to surrender for booking in the Fulton County election interference case. The bond agreement, signed by Trump's attorneys, also prohibits him from intimidating co-defendants, witnesses, or victims, or making any threats, including on social media. Trump says he will not be part of the Republican primary debates, drawing criticism from some fellow presidential candidates.
Everybody should debate. Everybody has a responsibility to earn people's votes.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis also tells Fox News Republican voters want candidates to stand on principle, defending his pushback against some Trump supporters in Congress who've suggested DeSantis is a Republican in name only. 8 Republicans who've met all the requirements are set to face off Wednesday night in the first primary debate on Fox. Several Republican governors visiting the southern border in a show of support for Texas Governor Greg Abbott as the Justice Department heads to federal court tomorrow, challenging the state's use of water buoys to stop migrants.
The Justice Department suing Texas, arguing the buoys have to be removed because they violate river protection laws. The DOJ officials claim the buoys are unauthorized and obstruct U.S. waters. Texas, however, has argued the buoys do not obstruct that part of the river. Therefore, the law doesn't apply.
Fox's Casey Stiegel. Governor Abbott also argues the federal government has failed to secure the southern border. South Texas could be hit with a tropical storm tomorrow. For now, it's a tropical depression in the Gulf of Mexico. Several states still facing a flood threat after Tropical Storm Hillary hit Southern California, also drenching parts of Arizona and Nevada. The remnants spreading north and east, dumping more rain. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The state's high court won't get in the way. 94 degrees, cloudy downtown. A heat advisory in effect until Thursday night. Your radar right now, clear. Low temps drop to the 70s later. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Indiana's near total ban on abortion can now take effect. John Herrick reports.
That's because the Indiana Supreme Court decided to not rehear arguments from the American Civil Liberties Union on whether or not a new law restricting abortions is unconstitutional. This law bans abortion in nearly all cases provinces, aside from a few exceptions. The ACLU says the ban will put Hoosiers' lives at risk, while Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita says he's glad that pro-death advocates have been defeated. Sean Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indy Metro Police say they need help in finding two toddlers believed to be abducted by their father. Rodney Pence is the dad of Cortez and Sincere Pence. They were last seen Sunday along Leslie Avenue. Pence drives a red 2004 Cadillac Escalade, says IMPD. He's 6'2", 225 pounds of black hair and brown eyes. More info on him can be found at WIBC.com. If you have anything that can help out the cops, give IMPD a call. You'll want to be finding ways to stay cool this week.
High temperatures will be hot. 95 to 100.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service says it's going to feel hotter than that thanks to heat index values, and it may not cool down until Friday. Indiana Task Force 1 got right to work over the weekend. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Leader Jay Settigren tells Wish TV the task force has spent the last 48 hours
creating safe access to the building so that we can conduct searches through the building.
He says the 70 members that are searching buildings are making sure not to retrace. It's already finished work.
By searching for any area in that affected zone thoroughly and document that with our technology.
Indiana Task Force 1 will be in Maui for at least 2 weeks. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're paying an average of $3.88 for a gallon of gas today, says GasBuddy.com. Some stations in central Indiana are selling it for $3.54. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement. Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
What? It's basement.
Oh.
Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that. Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on. Take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
With traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, the stall cleared, Harrison. Southside, eastbound 465 before Harding. That is gone. We still have a traffic stop, though, from I-70 the White River. Then we get going. Coming into downtown right now, eastbound 70 sluggish from Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. And inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. Northeast side, eastbound 465 stops before and after Keystone Avenue. Crash Southside, Banta at Meridian Street. Traffic sponsored by LASIK Vision Institute. TLC Laser Eye Centers is the doctor's choice for LASIK. Get 20% off LASIK when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing. Visit saveontlc.com for details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, still warm. Our low temperature at 73 degrees. Tomorrow, another sunny and hot one. High temperature up to 93 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! It is the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here, and this Wednesday, the first GOP primary debate, and it's on Fox, and the moderator, one of the moderators, Martha McCallum, anchor of Fox News, joins us right now. Martha, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. In regards to your preparation for this event, and we'll talk about Donald Trump and the other candidates here in just a moment, but in terms of how you put this together, is this something where you have to prepare for if Donald Trump shows up, or if he doesn't show up, are you preparing for both? How does this work?
Well, it's all sort of one kind of big document where we're putting together our questions. We've been working on them for months, really, and they've been evolving over time. And we've been meeting daily for the past couple of weeks to continue to kind of focus the questions and sharpen them. And as news happens, we bring them in as well. So there are questions in there that, would be applicable for the former president or that we would ask him. It's not two totally separate things. It's sort of, if Trump is there, this would be a question for him.
I've never seen anything like this where you have a crowded field. I mean, there's a lot of people involved here, and the front runner has decided to say, I'm good. Like, you've been covering this stuff a lot longer than we have here. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I haven't. But I think it's also important to remember that we've also never seen a presidential election where you have a former president who is running for the office again 4 years later. So he comes into it with that name recognition and that sort of incumbency around him that gives him an obvious boost out of the gate. And the other unprecedented thing about all of this, obviously, is that we have someone who's running who's been indicted 4 times and charged with 91 counts. Now, layer on top of that the people who support him like him even better every single time he's indicted. I just was looking at some numbers this morning. His numbers have gone up even more since the 4th indictment. So you've got a lot of factors in this that, nope, I've never covered anything like that before. And we're definitely in some uncharted territory here.
Martha MacCallum is our guest. She is one of the moderators for the presidential primary debate coming up this Wednesday. You can catch that on Fox. So, Martha, I think if the first debate is always the one that has the most eyeballs on it, usually it has the most viewership attached to it. Is this kind of the last stand for somebody like Ron DeSantis? Is this the chance where he can chip away a little bit at that big lead Donald Trump has? Or if he flames out, is this the ball game?
I think it's a make or break night for several of these candidates. And clearly the governor of Florida was expected to have a stronger trajectory out of the gate than he has had. And now he finds himself struggling with some other candidates who are near the ballpark. Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, all of them are kind of in the same group poll-wise at this point. So I don't think that that's what his team and his supporters expected to see at this point. That being said, if he has a strong night on Wednesday, he could move those numbers in a big way. If he doesn't do well on Wednesday, it could be a make or break moment for him. And I think we need to also watch people like Chris Christie and Doug Burgum, who have been kind of getting out there and making news in their own right. So to me, the most fascinating number I keep going back to is that 62-63%, because you see all these numbers, and I think it's easy to look at Iowa, it's easy to look at these other places and say, forget it. Trump has this sewn up. But when you look at the number of voters who say, in the Republican Party, who say, I'm not sure, I'm still open, I'm still persuadable, that number is big. 62% is big. And these other candidates have a chance to win their attention on Wednesday night. And I think then you're going to start to see these numbers shuffle around a bit.
Now, there's going to be some people on that stage that are very anti-Donald Trump. You bring up the name Chris Christie. Have you and your colleague Brett Baier, have you guys had a chance to talk about what you're going to do if somebody tries to turn this into just an anti-Donald Trump sideshow?
Well, everyone has the opportunity to answer the question. They've got a minute per question. They've got 30 seconds for a rebuttal. I think there will be an opportunity for all of them to speak their mind, and we're not there to stop them from doing that. This is all about the viewers and the voters. This is not a one-on-one interview, which is a different dynamic where you might want to have, sort of moments that are challenging these candidates. And I think what's interesting on Wednesday night is you want to see them challenge each other. So unless it gets, unless it really goes off the rails,
right,
we'll be moderating. That's our role, to kind of bring it in when it needs to be brought in. But we're not there to keep people from speaking their mind.
Martha MacCallum is our guest here on the Hammer and Nigel show. One more thing here before we let you go, Martha. What will be the main focus of this debate coming up this week? Is it going to be economy? Is it going to be something else? Is it going to be Donald Trump?
Oh, it's clearly going to be the issues. Economy is the number one issue by far in our Fox News polling that people care about. One of the things that really strikes me is that people in this country feel powerless to buy a house, to even pay their rent in some situations, to buy a car. I hear it from young people all the time. They're having trouble launching, and it's understandable. Interest rates are sky high. Groceries, we have a poll that shows 52% of people polled say that paying for their groceries is a major issue. How is that happening in this country? We also have education issues that are very front and center for people. We have kids who have slipped so far behind that they can't read in 5th or 6th or 7th grade. So we have some very serious issues to deal with. I think economy is number one. Right behind it, education, border, also very important to a lot of the people who are going to be watching. So the focus is on the issues. I know Trump will come up, the former president, undoubtedly, but the focus is on the issues, because we've heard over and over again from people, this is what I want to hear about. I don't want it to be all about Trump. I want it to be about what's going on in my life. So that's what we're going to put the focus.
She is a Fox News anchor, the executive editor of The Story, and one of the moderators for the debate this week, Martha McCallum of Fox News. Martha, thank you so much for joining us here in Indy.
Thanks. Great to be with you. Have a great day.
Matt Baer standing by with a look at the roads.
All right, the stall cleared on the south side. Hammer still a little bit slow on eastbound 465 at I-70. Into downtown, eastbound 70 stop and go from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Southbound 65 stop and go traffic from 29th to Meridian Penn. And inbound 69 slow onto the northeast side of Indianapolis from Fisher stop and go 96th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Isaacs and Isaacs. Dog bite injury, call Isaacs and Isaacs. The law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
93 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Edwin is a lot like you. She loves summers in Indy, but she hates to paint, so she called Rhino Shield.
So over the years, I had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
Rhino Shield specifically formulated for our climate. It's better than paint.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Right now, take advantage of Rhino Shield's summer savings. Get $1,000 off plus 0% interest for 18 months.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749.
You know, working with Indy Decorative Concrete, they're the ones that completely took out my old front porch and sidewalk and put in a custom stamped concrete area, patio, more space. It looks absolutely awesome and unique, and you can see before and after pictures at the Hammer and Nigel Facebook page. But I like working with Indy Decorative Concrete because they don't use subcontractors. Check out their website, and the work that they do is excellent. IndyDecorativeConcrete.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. When a restaurant closes, my reaction is, that sucks. They had good steak. When regional banks close or 3 of them close overnight, it freaks me out. This is why I have my own personal gold reserve. It's part of my personal protection plan. Call my friends at Oxford Gold Group. Call 833-404-GOLD. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If you're making the minimum payments, but your balance is just not going down, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it will take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 5 million people. They can consolidate your debts into one lower payment, reduce your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. If you're struggling with credit card debt, call Consolidated Credit now.
Call now, 800-552-6750. That's 800-552-6750. 800-552-6750.
Consolidated Credit Counseling Services Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Not a loan company licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 19, Oregon DM 80031. Licensed by Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 32. Establishment of a plan may adversely affect the individual's credit rating or credit scores. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase financial charges or collections activity, including litigation.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and summertime's a great time to upgrade your water equipment, and C&J Water has some great upgrade specials right now. Upgrade to a twin tank softener and get a free reverse osmosis drinking water unit. Right now, you can also save 15% on any water quality equipment at C&J. Ultraviolet systems, iron and sediment systems, single tank softeners, and reverse osmosis units. Such a deal. C&J really does install the best of the best. So call C&J for yours today. Call 317-733-SOFT or cnjwater.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the DriveHubler.com hotline.
Nobody covers the Colts better than Kevin Bowen from 107.5 The Fan. One half of the morning show over there. KB, what are we calling the morning show over there? What's the official title of this new gig over there?
Yeah, we've got the Wake Up Call with KB and Andy. So maybe a little bit of a mouthful, but yeah, the Wake Up Call with KB and Andy. It's myself and Andy Sweeney, who joins us from Louisville, and that started earlier today.
All right. Well, congratulations on the show. I mean, you were there before, but now it's a new show. You survived the cut, and it's Nigel and I's experience. If you've been in radio long enough and you survive a show change and a cut, that's worthy of a celebration.
Preach. Yeah, I'm trying to do what Purdue basketball can't do in March, and that is survive in advance. So far, I've survived in advance.
Hey, man, before we get into this Colts-Bears game, the X's, the O's, who played, who didn't, can I just say what a hunk of crap, what a horrible experience that whatever it was on Saturday is for somebody that paid full price. Like season ticket holders that get stuck having to pay full price for that. You know, Richardson sits out, Fields sits out. The top 6 Bears receivers, top 6, all sat out, and people paid full price for that. Preseason is such a scam, man.
Yeah, and honestly, I'll probably go here, if you don't mind, Hammer. I thought the Colts were incredibly shady in how they handled the lack of announcement over who would start at quarterback. Shane Steichen said after the game, yeah, we're leaning towards playing our starters Thursday in Philly. And the week before, he was like, yeah, Anthony Richardson's going to start in Buffalo. There was no announcement over Anthony Richardson playing or not playing leading into Saturday night, the only home preseason game of the year. And I'm usually not one that puts on this tinfoil hat, but I said to Jake late last week when we were wrapping up what was our final morning show, and I said, you know what? Shane Steichen, no comments on Wednesday when asked if starters are going to play on Saturday. He's not made available to the media after their final joint practice on Thursday. And then there's no announcement leading up to kickoff at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. Are they really trying to run away from these questions because they just want as many fans as possible to show up to their only home preseason game? Again, that's the vibe I got, and that ended up playing out. And again, Richardson didn't start. So I thought the whole handling of it was really shady and a disservice to their home fan base, in particular, it being the only home preseason game. And that doesn't even get into the decision where I think Richardson should have played in the game anyway.
Yeah, the strategy worked. It seemed like there were a lot of fans there, Bears fans and Colts fans. It looked like a full house, and the decision not to play their face of the franchise, the rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson. What was said afterwards as to the excuse? Why didn't he play?
Yeah, Shane pointed to the joint practice last week with the Bears, and do you get a lot of nice reps in? Sure. But, I mean, Anthony Richardson is still wearing a red jersey in those practices. And I just think it's a really poor message, Nige, to send to your team when you're like, yeah, guys, we won 4 games last year. We just had the most embarrassing season this franchise has seen in years. It's a new coaching staff. We've got a starting quarterback with 13 career starts in college, and we're going to sit everybody in week 2 of the preseason. Like, I wasn't born yesterday. The Colts have lost 9 straight season openers. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL in the month of September in the Chris Ballard era. Something is not being done right to lead into seasons, and they continue to kind of operate with this. We're not going to play a lot of starters in the preseason. And I think it's really beneficial not only for Richardson to get the reps, but the other guys on the offense around him. I won't bore you guys too much with these practice details, but last Thursday was their final training camp practice against the Bears. It was the second joint practice. And Richardson threw 9 passes that night, and 3 of the 9 passes he completed were all called back due to penalties, offensive line penalties. These weren't holding penalties. They were ineligible men downfield. Well, I think a big reason for that is they're running plays that have these run or pass options, which, again, is different from what a normal NFL offense would look like. So the other guys around Richardson have to get used to running this offense. And I'm thinking, boy, the last time you were just out there, you had all these penalty screw-ups, and then 48 hours later, a chance to play in the game, you decide not to play any of those starters. So it just didn't really add up. I think the Colts have handled this very well quarterback-wise all up until, last week in relation to him playing in the preseason game.
I mean, if the Colts were Kansas City or Cincinnati or Buffalo, I would totally understand if they chose not to put their franchise quarterback out there at all for preseason. But you mentioned it earlier, Kevin. We're talking about Anthony Richardson here, who started his senior season of high school 1 year at Florida, and that's pretty much it. This isn't even like, Peyton at Tennessee or Andrew Luck at Stanford, where they had multiple years of playing.
Right, and I mean, let's be honest, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen just played this weekend in their respective preseason games, so clearly it meant something to them. C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, 2 fellow rookies drafted above Anthony Richardson, who played a lot more in college than Richardson, they also played this weekend. So, again, I think the Colts have handled Richardson and the amount of reps he's gotten very well, really up until this point. But even if you want to go bigger picture than him, I just think it's an awful message to send to your football team when you're like, yeah, let's just play the backups when there's only 3 preseason games. And that, to me, didn't really add up at all. And I think it was kind of a soft message to send to them.
Kevin Bowen joining us from 107.5 The Fan. So I'm watching whatever that was on Saturday, that debacle of a preseason game. And again, it is, but it's like fruit stripe gum, right? The first 5 minutes, you're excited. This is good. You see the helmets. 10 minutes later, you're like, well, this sucks. But at one point, I texted Nige, and I just said, buckle up. Irsay in the studio. And Jim Irsay joined the TV broadcast and started talking about Jonathan Taylor. For those who didn't catch it, what did the boss man have to say?
Well, you certainly had to sift through a lot to wait for the Taylor comments. I actually thought of him as Jim Irsay meter. It was rather tame. Now, again, I think the Jim Irsay meter has quite a lot on it, but I didn't think it went too overboard. You could sift through the 2 minutes of Taylor comments. And by the way, we should mention, he just organically brought him up. There's no way that, the Colts were like, ask him about it.
Right.
Irsay's just going to do whatever Irsay wants. You could nitpick and look at some of the comments in there. He references the collective bargaining agreement and the contract issues, and I think that was a little dig at Taylor's agent and saying, hey, look in the CBA. This is what it says. But I might be stretching a little bit there. I did have to laugh. He ended it with something to the effect of hopefully Chris Ballard can calm some of the waters. I'm thinking, well, that's a pretty public admittance of the waters are rocky, which I agree. I mean, both sides are at very different ends of the spectrum with this. And then also I'm thinking, you help stir those waters it's not like you've made everything, calm and smooth. Like that tweet that he sent out a few weeks ago, read the room. You know that your best player who's in a contract issue and his agent is not going to be happy about that. So I think we're to the point now, though, guys, that in the next handful of days, maybe stretch it out to 10 days, you have to get answers here. A week from Tuesday's roster cuts, you will get an answer. Not that Taylor will be cut, of course, but he's currently on the physically unable to perform list. You have to make a decision whether you keep him on that list and he'll miss the first 4 games of the season, or you bring him off and he could play in those first 4 games. And I also just think he's got to practice. Like, if he wants to be ready week 1, I mean, guys, we're approaching 2.5 weeks away from the season opener. Jonathan Taylor hasn't been on a practice field or game field since December of last year. So if he wants to play, you've got to get him practicing very soon.
Last thing here, KB, before we let you go. What are the chances that Jonathan Taylor is in the Colts lineup opening day? Just your gut feeling, Kevin.
God, that's a great question. I'll say like 58%, but the fact that I'm so waffling around 50-50 tells you, just how much indecision I have, clearly, and how much I think there's an unknown with this. They only have 1 practice this week, guys. That is tomorrow in Philadelphia. They play Thursday night. They won't practice again until, I guess, maybe the weekend at the earliest. And once you get to this weekend, you're 2 weeks out. All these guys are pretty sensitive about their bodies. Jonathan Taylor strikes me as a very hypersensitive individual about his body and where he's at. You throw this contract thing on top of it, I don't know if 2 weeks is ready for a guy like him. I know he plays a position that you rotate a lot of guys at, but I just can't say with a ton of confidence he's out there week 1. Even saying 58%, I might think to myself, man, that's a little bit too high.
Where can we get more coverage?
Yeah, 107.5 The Fan, tons of written content up on our website. And then as you let off with, it's the wake-up call with myself, Kevin Bowen, KB, and Andy. That's Andy Sweeney every morning, 7 to 10, over on 107.5 The Fan.
KB, awesome job. We'll talk next week.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Nige, we are, give or take 15, 20 minutes away from Moonshine Monday.
Oh, I forgot about that. Do you have a selection for us today?
I got a little something in the fridge. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. More of the biggest stories in Indiana coming up right after a look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's going to be hot, 94 degrees, cloudy downtown, a heat advisory in effect until Thursday nights. Nothing on your radar for now. Your low tonight dropping to 73. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. It's not just the heat that concerns forecaster Matt Eckhoff.
What stands out to me is the how prolonged the heat really is. It's going to be all week long from now through Friday. The humidity will be very excessive.
But he says the temperatures will ease up by the weekend and humidity will go down as well. Until then, he recommends staying inside with the air conditioning and getting a drink of water. Indiana's near total abortion ban should be cleared and ready to take effect. The Indiana Supreme Court said Monday morning the court denied a rehearing on one of its earlier decisions, which means the state appeals court can certify the decision. State law bans abortions with exception for rape, incest, or if the mother's life is in danger. Former President Donald Trump will post a $200,000 bond when he surrenders to Georgia authorities later this week. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
A court filing in Fulton County, Georgia, outlines conditions for a bond agreement in the criminal case accusing former President Trump with conspiracy and other election-related violations. The former president is required to surrender to law enforcement for booking later this week. An agreement reached between his legal team and district attorney's office sets bond at $200,000. Other conditions include former President Trump not violating any laws or intimidating any person known to be co-defendants or witnesses. He was charged last week in a case that also includes 18 co-defendants and dozens of unindicted co-conspirators. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The sale of U.S. Steel will be a substantial hit to Northwest Indiana.
Not just the thousands of workers who work at U.S. Steel, but also the
the many suppliers and others in the region who are tied directly to the steel industry.
There's also monopoly concerns since the company produces 20% of the country's steel, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business. He tells WIBC's Tony Katz workers have sale protection in their union contracts. You're paying $3.88 for a gallon of gas in Indiana today. That's the statewide average, says GasBuddy.com. And with traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, looking at southbound 69, and this is going to be stop-and-go traffic from 96 to 82nd. And Lawrence, southbound 465, right around the East 56th Street ramps. We have police covering the right shoulder with a couple of cars right now. That's causing a delay. And stop-and-go traffic back to I-69, then that continues on eastbound 465 back to Westfield Boulevard. The whole thing is slow. Looking at northbound 465 on the northwest side, stop-and-go traffic from 86th Street up to 865. Traffic sponsored by the Hoosier Hardwood Festival. The Hoosier Hardwood Festival features lumberjacks, chainsaw carvers, Twiggy the water skiing squirrel, and family fun. August 25th through the 27th in Lebanon, HoosierHardwoodFestival.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, partly cloudy, still warm. Our low temperature at 73 degrees. Tomorrow, another sunny and hot one. High temperature up to 93 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Remember this guy, Barney Frank? Hammer?
Yeah, I always said Barney Frank sounds like if the character Milton from Office Space became a congressman.
So, yeah, former congressman out of Massachusetts, chairman of the Financial Services Committee in the House. I mean, this guy took a bunch of donations from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Key figure in the subprime mortgage crisis in 2008. Didn't do enough to reform their, those disastrous lending programs.
And he's still looking for his red stapler.
Yeah, right. I found this old tweet, and there's a reason why we're talking about Barney Frank. We'll get to that in a minute. I found this old tweet from Donald Trump in 2011. Barney Frank looked disgusting. Nipples protruding in his blue shirt before Congress. Very disrespectful.
I miss the old man's tweets. I know there's the Truth Social thing, but I miss the tweets.
That was from 2011. So anyway, for whatever reason, former Congressman Barney Frank was on some panel with Rita Cosby and a Daily Caller reporter on Newsmax. So I guess they think Barney Frank's opinion is still relevant.
Especially when it comes to what's happening at the border.
Yeah, this whole conversation was at the border. He claimed that Barney Frank basically said, no, this is silly. The border is not open. And Brianna Lyman, who was the reporter with the Daily Caller, brought the hammer down on him, disagreed, basically brought the facts here. Listen to this.
That don't treat people who are the innocent victims of this or who are children as pawns and sending them places. And secondly, yes, we have problems at the border, but the statement that it's open is simply silly. There are people there catching
That's
people.
True.
Oh, another interruption. I get confirmation that I just made a point she doesn't want to hear because she interrupts me. The fact is that there's a lot of effort going on to enforce at the border. It has not been as effective as we would like it to be, but Biden also put in place a policy that was struck by judges that said you can't come here for asylum if you've been somewhere else. And that needs to be put in.
Brianna, real quick, I will literally give you 5 seconds, and obviously you have to correct Barney because there's a couple errors there. Go ahead.
I'm just going to go with the biggest one. The Biden administration has sued Governor Abbott after he tried to put barriers in the water to deter migrants because the federal government is not doing their job. So they are literally working on behalf of the migrants.
Have you seen my stapler? Barney Frank.
He even sounds like Milton. Not only does he look like Milton, he sounds like him. But, I mean, she's right. 7 million illegals since Biden took office crossing the border. I mean, what's he talking about?
I get you have to play the partisan politics game. And if you're a lefty, that means you've got to say a bunch of crap that you know isn't true. But come on.
But lefty states and Democrat-run cities in New York, in Illinois, in Massachusetts are all saying saying that they are at capacity with illegal migrants. So what, like, if the border isn't open, then why are all of those guys, all of those officials freaking out? Why is Mayor Eric Adams spreading pamphlets on the southern border saying, don't come to New York, we're full?
So if I understand this correctly, it's almost like you're saying Barney Frank is full of crap. I had never thought about that before, Nige.
Apparently, according to Donald Trump, has protruding nipples.
Oh, man. So where are we at with this here? Elon Musk, he is hell-bent on removing the block feature from Twitter.
Do we know why? Exactly.
I think Elon Musk feels like he's being some sort of virtue of free speech. Like, free speech means you have to listen to people that you don't like, and the block feature isn't really what we're about.
Can you still mute? I believe you can still mute people, though.
You can. You can still mute people.
So you technically still won't see their tweets, but they can see yours. And that's the whole idea of the block feature, is that once you block somebody, they can't not only communicate with you on the social media platform, but they can't see anything that you're doing either.
Right. And listen, you're not going to find people that love free speech more than we do, but take the job that we have here, Nige. We give our opinions on news stories. Just because somebody might not like our opinion, they start doxing our address. They start harassing our family. They start going after our kids. We know this because we've seen this. There are some absolute lunatics out there. Let's say you have a bad breakup with an ex, and now she wants to block you on social media, but yet if Elon Musk has his way, you can stalk all you want. It just feels like this is a little too risky because of the lunatics that are out there.
Yeah, it seems like how do they put it? A problem looking for a solution, or a solution looking for a problem.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense.
Nobody was complaining about the block feature.
Right. Lots to complain about on social media. The block feature wasn't one of them. And so will the app stores let him? That's the question. Will the app stores let him engage this feature?
It sounds like, again, it's early and it's all hypothetical at this point, but Apple has stated that if Elon Musk removes the block feature, it becomes open for harassment and stalking, and the App Store might not carry Twitter, or if you want to call it X, anymore. Now, that's a big deal if the App Store no longer carries it. You can't grow the product if you can't get more users. And I think Elon Musk has done some good things. I like the way he's trying to monetize it. You know, if you're somebody that gets a lot of action, you can make a little bit of money.
Subscribe.
And again, the free speech aspect, I'm here for. Like, I get, if I don't want to find out what the Krasenstein brothers have to say, I don't have to follow them, but I don't necessarily think they should be barred from the platform. When you allow this block feature to be removed, though, again, we've seen it firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
The lunatics out there will go after your family. They'll dox your address. Politics has become blood sport, whether you like it or not. And
very divisive.
This is a problem.
Are we still calling it Twitter? Are you continuing to call it Twitter, or have you switched over to X?
I will never call it X. It will always be Twitter. It will always be Deer Creek.
And if the Hoosier Dome was still around, it'd still be the Hoosier Dome.
Oh, it still is. Here in a couple weeks, Jacksonville opens up the season at the Hoosier Dome against the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, there's a new survey out. This is pretty appropriate because of the temperatures this week here in Indy. New survey out on the most frustrating parts of summer. Mosquitoes, number one frustration.
More than swamp ass?
More than swamp ass. Number two, sweating.
Okay, so that would be what I thought would be number one. Because I hate, like let's say you're going to somewhere where you have to dress to impress, and you park your car, you're walking to the meeting. Oh. Next thing you know, you've got pit sweat,
Oh, dude, I was at a visitation earlier with some relatives earlier this morning. And it was so hot out, like from my car to the funeral home, I started profusely sweating. I had to go straight to the bathroom to wipe off.
And if you're fat, it's even worse. So I would have thought sweat would have been number one more so than mosquitoes.
Let's see. The most frustrating parts of summer. 1, mosquitoes. 2, sweat. 3, excessive heat. 4, humidity and stickiness. I think these are all the same.
Right.
Let's see. Higher utility bills.
Oh,
which
yeah.
kind of makes sense. Sunburns. I got a little extra sun yesterday doing some yard work and dove into the neighbor's pool after that. Said screw the sunscreen.
Did you dive in naked and just go unannounced?
Yeah. Oh man, it's so great. Yeah, they were. I don't know about this one. Most frustrating parts of summer: excessive air conditioning.
I love excessive air conditioning.
I'm all for excessive air conditioning.
When you guys take a vacation and you get to the hotel or the rental cabin, whatever it is, first thing you do, crank the AC down, right? You got to get that temperature down because it's usually at a higher level than I prefer when I get there.
Lack of shade outside. And then there's always, during the summer, pressure to, quote, do something. Well, it's a nice day. It's summer. We got to go do something.
I think that's a younger person's problem. As I get older, I have absolutely no intention of doing anything. Like if I've got a day where I don't have something to do, that's a pretty good day.
That's a very nice day. What did you do this? Is the kiddo moved in yet to the house? Did he start?
The cable comes this week, hooking up the Wi-Fi and the cable this week. Once that comes to his house, then we will move down his TVs, his bed, his dresser, his clothes, and he will be done.
But when does class start?
Not this week, but next week. So he's got a lot of orientation stuff this week.
So I think Butler started this week, or maybe they was moving day this week. I know Purdue started this week.
Ball State's moved in. A lot of places have moved in. UIndy, I think, is a week behind a lot of people. So the boy starts class next week, and he'll be moved in by then, man. Just waiting for the cable guy to come by and give him Bally Sports, the Marquee Sports Network, NFL Red Zone, and everything that he wants.
By the way, I need to thank you for the Degenerate Special.
Boom. Boom, baby.
Indianapolis Colts winning, and what was my bet? I was confused as to what my bet was. I think.
Well, no, you were drunk, is what it was. I've explained it to you like 8 times. The bet was at plus 140 plus money. Yeah. The Colts had to win by 1 through 13 points.
Yeah,
that's it.
The thing is, I know I was drunk. Now I'll give you that when you were texting me this. But I had we had a bunch of people at the house, bunch of relatives, kids running around, cousins sleep overnight, so I wasn't able to watch the game. So I was only halfway kind of checking my text. So that was the confusion. But yes, hey, kudos to you.
I sent you a text with a screenshot of the final score, and I said, we won, and you said, but I lost. No, dumbass, you didn't. You won. You're welcome.
Unfortunately, I got to say for once, Hammer is not exaggerating. I could go back. I think Rob Kendall was on that text. And you go, hey, way to go, we won. And I wrote back, no, I lost.
And I believe my next words were, Jesus, something else.
Okay, is it time for some shine?
I believe it's time for a little shine. Moonshine Monday, next on the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop.
Sarah, you don't look so good. Are you okay?
To be honest, I did it again last night. I promised myself it would be just 1 glass of wine, and I drank the whole bottle.
You need to get the drinking under control, Sarah. Trust me, I know. Wine o'clock used to be my favorite time of day, but I found that 1 glass always turned into more and realized I needed help. I did some research and found naltrexone.
Naltrexone?
It's an FDA-approved medication that reduces cravings and pleasure from drinking, making it easier to drink less or quit alcohol altogether. I started seeing results almost immediately.
How'd you get started with naltrexone?
It's easy with Or Health. Just send them a text and get a secure link to their private online assessment. One of their licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment and, if medication is right for you, prescribe it directly online. They even deliver your prescription right to your front door. No doctor's office visits required.
Thanks, Anne. I'm texting now.
You really can stop drinking or just drink less. Text PROMISE to 323232 to get started today. Text the word PROMISE to 323232. Text PROMISE to 323232.
Pay off your credit cards. Pay off your credit cards. Say it with me. Pay off your credit cards. It's Hammer here from the Hammer and Nigel Show. And if you want to pay off those credit cards, check out my friends at Loan Pronto. LoanPronto.com. They are ready to help you Stop paying 27% interest on credit cards or your personal loans. As a matter of fact, for every $10,000 of debt that you consolidate, you can cut your monthly payments by nearly $500. With Loan Pronto, you can get $50,000 or $100,000 out right now. In fact, you can actually access about 90% of your home's value. So whether you want to pay off those credit cards or maybe do some home remodeling, call my friends at Loan Pronto today. They make it easy. They do all the paperwork. You just have to call. 317-953-6525. That's Loan Pronto. 317-953-6525. 953-6525 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Of course I love my parents, I really do, but often felt angry with them because I was always screaming so they could hear me on the telephone. All that has changed thanks to the CapTel phone from Relay, Indiana. We're so much better off because now my parents can read what I'm saying on the CapTel caption telephone. Our conversations are pleasant because through voice recognition technology, my words appear to them on an easy-to-read screen right on the telephone. Thanks, Relay Indiana.
Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
If your wedding anniversary is approaching and you're looking for the kind of value, service, and quality that chain stores just can't provide, that means a visit to Barrington Jewels in Clearwater Crossing. You must see the truly one-of-a-kind creations at Barrington. You'll find exquisite and unique anniversary bands at great prices. Save time and effort and shop Barrington Jewels first. Consider upgrading her diamond, a truly special way to show your love. Don't wait. Get to Barrington Jewels today. And remember, you haven't seen a diamond until you've seen a Barrington diamond. Have you ever dropped off your documents for shredding and wondered what happened to them? At Quick Shred, documents are shred right in front of you at their retail location on East 62nd Street. No appointment needed and convenient curbside assistance is provided. No matter how big or how small, they shred it all. You leave knowing your confidential information has been completely destroyed. Quick Shred is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 and Saturdays, 9 to 2. Quick Shred at 62nd and Binford Boulevard. Quick Shred.
Let us send you your home's value today. Go to HoosierHomeValues2023.com. From Crossroads Collective, title sponsor of the First Day, Sundays 11 to 1.
The LASIK Vision Institute is making LASIK even more affordable. Get 20% off LASIK when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes. Plus, guaranteed financing. Visit GetLVILASIK.com for details.
Head to WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Hoosier Hardwood Festival, August 25th through the 27th at the Boone County Fairgrounds. Fun for the whole family featuring Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel.
Matt Bear has a look at the roads.
All right, Hammer, looking at southbound 69. That's stop and go traffic still from 96th Street down to 82nd. And then a delay continues on southbound 465 right now on the northeast side. It starts at Keystone. Then we have stop and go traffic down to East 56th Street. Police have the right shoulder in that area, Lawrence. Also, eastbound 70 completely jammed right now. 15 minutes on delay from Belmont to West Street. It's a stall right there in the middle of the interstate. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. There is still time to get a patio this fall with Indy Decorative Concrete. The patio experts. No subcontractors ever big enough to service, small enough to care. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
93 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And it takes me back to a simpler place in time when we used to kick back and let the moon shine.
Somebody gave us a treasure trove full of different moonshine flavors, and we sample them on Moonshine Mondays here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Where's this one from?
Sugarlands, down in God's country, Gatlinburg, Tennessee area.
Oh, you've been there, haven't you?
I've been to the distillery. Yes, I have. And this is Sugarlands Blackberry Moonshine.
Oh, boy.
And again, when you say somebody brought us a treasure trove, we're not talking about little sample sizes. We got like 16 of the big, massive 750 milliliter jars.
Like, we do these samples and then we give them away to like engineering. Rob Kendall stole some from us.
Guests of our program.
Yeah, let's see. Blockaders Blackberry Moonshine. Okay, well.
It's been in the fridge all day. Perfect way to kick off a crazy Monday at the start of a work week and debate week. Cheers.
Sure. Ooh, that's delicious. That's the best I've had yet.
That's really good.
Oh,
you taste the blackberry right away, and then the shine smacks you on the backside.
By the way, I'm looking ahead at the weather this week, like we were looking at on my iPhone. 100 degrees on Thursday.
Yes.
Not the feels like temperature, right? Not like 91, but feels like 100. 100 degrees. And I was telling my wife, she's traveling to Denver this week. I thought, oh, Denver's not going to be as hot. You're going to escape all the heat. You got the mountains over there. Nope, 100 degrees tomorrow in Denver.
And that's less oxygen to suck, too, when you're hot.
Exactly.
Up there in that altitude, man. We have got another hour to go. Debate week kicks off. We will get you primed and ready, even if Donald Trump's not going to be there. We've got all that next.
Stop right now and ask yourself, what is most important to you? Hey, this is Casey Weed at Howard Bailey Financial, the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. We believe in developing retirement plans driven by what is most important to you, your purpose. Then we can build what we call your financial life plan, made up of 4 main pillars: liquidity for emergencies, income to last a lifetime, flexibility to adapt, estate planning to maximize your legacy, and finally, tax planning to maximize what you can spend and pass on. To learn more about saving on your taxes, get your free digital tax guide. Just call or text TAX42 to 866-482-9559. That's TAX42 to 866-482-9559.
Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Are you working way too hard for way too little? There's never been a better time to consider a career in IT. You could enjoy a recession-resistant career in a rewarding field with plenty of growth opportunities and often flexible work environments. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. You could start your new career in months, not years. Take classes online or on campus, and financial aid is available to qualified students, including the GI Bill. Now is the time. mycomputercareer.edu.
The Dell Technologies Back to School event is on, with deals on top tech for class, hobbies, and more. Now, when you buy, you support a cause. With every eligible purchase, Dell will donate to UNICEF in support of GIGA, a UNICEF ITU global initiative to connect schools across the globe to the internet. Accidental damage protection included. Get rare deals on select laptops and desktops powered by the latest Intel Core processors. Save now at Dell.com/deals. UNICEF does not endorse any company, brand, product, or service.
24/7 ER care for kids. 24/7 peace of mind for you. Riley Children's Health emergency doctors and nurses are in the ER around the clock at IU Health North in Carmel. Learn more at rileychildrens.org/ER.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and the kids are about to go back to school and get reintroduced to the germ pool. Now that means sniffles and sneezes, and when you combine that with all the carpet messes from a summer of fun, it's time to call Zero Res. Here's the good news. It's quick and easy scheduling, and you can get online in seconds or call them on the phone. Average cleaning time is 2 to 3 hours, and the floors dry quickly because they use the patented ZR water that cleans with no soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals. Now that's a big win. Zero Res gets all the yuck out, even the non-living allergens and irritants for a lasting summer clean. Zero Res techs are the best in the industry, trained in extraction techniques that just work to get your things really, really clean. Now mention WIBC and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $139, plus you'll get a free hallway and $50 off all air duct cleaning too. That's right, air duct cleaning, and it'll help you improve the air quality in your home and help reduce your energy costs and just breathe easier. Call 388-5141 or schedule your appointment online at zeroresindy.com.
Let's listen in on a modern-day marriage proposal. The players lift their smartphones. The young man pledges his true love to the woman of his dreams. She accepts. They exchange kissing emojis. There are some hearts. Very nice. Well, look at this. He's putting his phone down. I don't believe it. He's got a box from Diamonds Direct. Well, now she puts her phone down. Oh, unbelievable. That, folks, shows how special a diamond from Diamonds Direct is. 2 people have put their phones down. He slips the Diamonds Direct diamond on her finger. She kisses him. Human contact, ladies and gentlemen. Who knew a Diamonds Direct diamond was capable of revolutionizing the virtual universe? And look at this. Her phone is ringing and she's still looking at her Diamonds Direct diamond. Oh, what's next? Tweets from actual birds? Amazing things really do happen when you give her a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Come in today and see how we can help you download real emotion. Details, store hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com. Your love, our passion.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by Everwise Credit Union. Discover the financial solutions to control your money and your business at everwisecu.com. I'm Alex Brown. Lawrenceburg Mayor Kelly Malone says the city wants to continue racing at the Lawrenceburg Speedway following the recent announcement that the track's promoters plan to retire this fall. Malone said they are already searching for a new promoter.
We understand the importance of the Speedway to our community and also the racing world. We're doing our due diligence to try to find the right promoter, and we want to make sure that the Lawrenceburg Speedway doesn't miss a beat.
The city owns the Speedway and leases it to a promoter to oversee operations. The mayor did not give a time frame for when a new promoter is expected to be named. The University of Southern Indiana is rolling out a new method for delivering eats to its campus communities. USI joins other universities such as Purdue and Notre Dame to adopt food robots known as KiwiBots that deliver throughout campus, including to student housing during campus dining hours. Purdue University's College of Science has a new leader in Lucy Flesch. Flesch comes in as the Frederick L. Hovde Dean after serving as the Senior Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs in the College of Science for the past 5 years. This is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
At Indiana University, your health is our higher purpose. You are the reason we break ground in medicine, the reason we develop life-changing research. You're the reason we fight diabetes, cancer, and Alzheimer's. Our mission is to create a better quality of life for you and people throughout our state. And as the leader of health in Indiana, when we have the will, we find the way. Learn more at iu.edu/healthimpact.
North Judson-based Cut Flower Farm Llewellyn Blooms is this year's winner of the Stark Tank Countywide Small Business Pitch Competition. The business will receive $10,000 and a 1-year Stark County Chamber of Commerce membership. The company offers direct-to-consumer and florist fresh flowers, as well as a flower subscription and event and wedding arrangements. The owners plan to create a business website, build a greenhouse, and add more flowers, land, and staff, as well as an irrigation system that is expected to add an acre of tillable ground for a sunflower field to boost agritourism. I'm Alex Brown for 93 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the Indiana Supreme Court will not block the state's ban